It seems strange, this Boise State-Idaho game is the season opener. No late November game with title hopes on the line tonight. Indeed, for most of the football season, Boise State and Idaho go their separate ways. But tonight, on the blue turf of Bronco Stadium, as the Bronco-Vandal rivalry is renewed for the 32nd time, expect the passion and fire that comes with a Boise State-Idaho showdown. After all, it's for pride, the champion motivator of all. BSU Idaho, next on the Bronco Television Network. Throws it out to David Michael. David Michael's going to have a touchdown. All-American quarterback. Down he goes! The Broncos have done it! Brock Horsey. That's a 10 right there. Oh, my goodness. It is a beautiful evening in Boise, Idaho to kick off the college football season for 2002. And what a great game we've got for you tonight. It's the Idaho Vandals against the Boise State Broncos, the 32nd renewal of this rivalry. Idaho leads the overall series 17-13-1. But Boise State has won 4 of the last 5 games. Hi, everybody. Wayne DeZubak along with Larry Pulowski. Welcome to another season right here on the Bronco Television Network. Hey, it may be August 31st, maybe the first game of the season. Boise State and Idaho maybe in different conferences, but it still feels like the same old rivalry.
Well, it really does. The excitement's starting to build, and this is only the 3rd time in the history of this rivalry that it's been played as the first game, but it's still very intense, and I think everybody's ready to rock and roll. Coach Hawkins certainly was a little concerned during the week about the preparation.
Doesn't have to be concerned about his quarterback, though. Ryan Dinwiddie is a veteran. He gets things done.
Ryan Dinwiddie has a lot of tools himself, but he also has some great skill receivers and running backs to work with. This is the focal point of the Bronco offense.
And a quarterback on defense, a guy named Quentin Michael Q, picked to be all everything in the WAC this year.
Talked to an Indianapolis Colts scout before the game, and he is very high on Quentin Michael. This guy makes everything go with the Bronco defense.
In on offense for Idaho, Brian Lindgren, a quarterback. We saw him make his collegiate debut last year against Boise State. He's a good one.
Yeah, he put up some huge numbers against Boise State last year. He had a couple of really good games later on in the season. He is the driving force with the short game and the long passing game for this Vandal offense.
Question mark for the Vandals is on defense. Now, Patrick Libby has moved around, and there's been a lot of changes on D.
Well, he's moved from outside backer to the middle. He will be the guy calling the signals. He's very mobile. He runs very well. He's a big hitter. You're going to see a lot of number 40 today for the Vandals.
All right, we make no changes here on the Bronco Television Network. Once again, the 3rd member of our broadcast crew is Jeff Caves. He is on the sideline. Jeffrey?
We'll be talking to Tom Cable at the end of the 2nd quarter, Wayne, and then early in the 1st, I'll go get a read on what Boise State is seeing out of that Vandal defense you just talked about. We'll talk about the adjustments that BSU is going to have to make to come out on top. Wayne?
All right, thank you, Jeffrey. Let's talk about the overhead door keys to the game, Poe.
Well, offensively, Boise State has just got to do what they do best, execute the run. The passing game will come along. They just have to play consistent ball. Defensively, we really can't allow any big plays by this Vandal offense. They must contain. They can let them have yardage, but they must contain the big play on offense.
All right, everybody, time to open up a can of rivalry because we got one going for you here on a beautiful night to play some college football in Boise, Idaho. This is Boise State Broncos against the Vandals. It'll be next live on the Bronco Television Network. Welcome back to Bronco Stadium, everybody. As I mentioned, it is an absolutely gorgeous night here for a college football game. 83 degrees, the wind at 3 miles per hour to the northwest. Humidity down to 22%. There's hardly a cloud in the sky. It is a gorgeous night, and the fans have turned out really about 30,000 strong here. There you see Tom Cable on the left and Dan Hawkins on the right, the 2 head coaches. Tom Cable coming off a 1-10 season. Dan Hawkins had his team 8-4 a year ago. Bronco fans on hand for this one. And again, this is the 32nd renewal of this rivalry. As I mentioned, Idaho leading at 17-13-1. At one stretch, the Vandals won 12 straight games. Boise State has won 4 of the last 5, including 3 in a row. And there you see our referees and our officials here for tonight's game. Referee Bill Athen will be calling the shots for us here tonight. He's walking on that new turf here again, just installed, $800,000. You'll see that once in a while, you'll see some kind of rubber granules popping up. What they do is they lay the turf down, and it's about 4 inches long, and then they start filling it up with rubber granules. And they've got that in there, and it takes about a whole season, they say, for them to settle down. So here we go, Boise State will be receiving, and Idaho will be doing the kicking off.
What do you think of that blue, Wayne? It looks pretty good on TV, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's a little richer blue, but it's toned down a little bit by all the rubber granules we talked about. Brian Pope will be kicking off, and Brock Forsey, and I believe Quentin Michael, now David Michael, will be the guys that will be running it back. So here we go. We are underway, the 2002 season, and Pope puts it about 8 yards deep, and David Michael's going to bring it out of the end zone. David Michael, you want to get out to the 20-yard line if you do something like that, but that's a little bit of a mistake there on David's part because he only gets it out to the 13-yard line.
Well, I think that slip in the end zone is what caused him to be, the timing to be off, and he couldn't get up to the wedge. Even if he was that deep, he could have made it to the wedge, but he slipped.
One of the things the Broncos want to do is get off to a very quick start here, so you can really expect for them maybe to go for something big. As you look at Ryan Dinwiddie, he is just a junior out of Elk Grove, California, and you can see all the figures he had last year, and that's unreal.
He put up some big numbers, and he will, I'm sure, go to the air quickly today.
Well, he's on one of those preseason watch lists as well as our 3 other Broncos. Scott Huff at center, the guy who's snapping the ball right now, is on 2 of those. The screenplay underneath. And that, I believe, is, I can't tell, is that Brock Forsey? Yeah, it is. Brock Forsey coming out of the backfield. Brock Forsey's got a first down, a gain of about 12 yards, out to the 27-yard line. Here you see his starting lineups. First of all, the offensive line for Boise State, and there's where they've had to make some changes, Pope.
Yeah, they really have. The 2 tackles, Coolidge and Colburn, both brand new guys.
And in the backfield, they're running Forsey and Michael this year. That's something a little bit different.
Now that's a tandem that you're going to see a lot of production out of.
So first down for Boise State. Out at the 27-yard line, Dinwiddie again looking to throw, pulls it underneath, has a lot of running room. Close to another first down. He's at the 40, and he's out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Gain of 14 yards, and Ryan Dinwiddie, the Broncos, 2 plays, 2 first downs.
Let's take a look at the Tom Scott Motors starting lineups on the defensive side for the Vandals. Taia Tafa, big guy, came back this year. He was off last year, had a hardship with his mother. She was dying of cancer. Kramer Libby and Kodama at linebacker. And Rankin Stewart, Robledo, and Hale will be the guys that are going to try to contain this passing game for Boise State.
Broncos with 2 offensive plays, 2 first downs. Handed off to Brock Forsey, a big gaping hole. He's got another first down. Gain of 12. He is into Idaho territory at the 45-yard line.
There's Forsey's numbers from last season. Obviously, what a year he had, and it looks like the Broncos are coming out strong and fit. They've ripped off some big yardage. Let's take another look at Forsey right up the gut. You know, the middle of that offensive line with Vian and Huff. Very tough up the middle.
Again, Idaho defense was a big question mark. A lot of people didn't know exactly what kind of defense they would do. They've got a new defensive coordinator, got a couple of new defensive coaches. They kept it pretty secretive up there. From the shotgun, Ryan Dinwiddie throws underneath the coverage to Billy Wingfield, incomplete. Billy Wingfield had a pretty good fall camp this year.
Well, that pass just a little bit behind Wingfield. A little miscommunication on the route.
Rod Bryant was on the coverage for the Idaho Vandals. So for the first time, the Broncos have a play, and there's no yardage or no first down.
You know, the other part about that offensive line that has been a big boost for the Broncos this year is getting Matt Navis back at the left guard position.
Boy, losing Matt Hill last year, he's, of course, on to the NFL.
And playing very well for the Seahawks.
Yes, no questions. Dinwiddie underneath to David Michael coming out of the backfield. He's hit hard by Bryant, knocks him back. And that's going to be a gain. Let's see where they mark the forward progress. And they're not going to give him a whole lot of marking on that. They're going to have it just right back at the line of scrimmage. So a gain of about 3 inches is all.
And because of the contact that happened there was separation between the defensive man and the offensive man, so he does not get the forward progress. Watch how far back. Michael gets knocked 5 yards back. And then they tackle him at the line of scrimmage.
Big play by Bryant right there, and the Broncos facing their first 3rd down of the ball game. Tim Gilligan in motion, and Dinwiddie with the time over the middle, complete to Gilligan, really close to a first down. Let's see where they mark it. The officials are marking it at the 35-yard line. That would be a first down.
Yeah, he got just enough to get the first down, and Gilligan's a little got hit pretty hard on that play. See if he stays in the game or if he's going to be substituted for him.
Well, if anybody's used to getting hit hard, it's Tim Gilligan. Remember last year, 2 punt returns, 2 crunches?
Watch his hit over the middle. You're going to see coming right at you. Gilligan gets caught on his way down. gets hammered into the turf.
So first down for the Broncos. They moved right down the field. Brock Forsey in motion. Brock Forsey has it with David Michael leading the blocking. Forsey has the first down to the 23-yard line. The Broncos ripping off yards tonight.
Brock Forsey with a nice run, and you mentioned David Michael. He also limped off the field, Wayne. He got caught up in that pile as he was sealing the corner on that block. Looked like he might have tweaked an ankle a little bit, but he didn't look too hurt, but he did hobble off the field.
Well, the Broncos this year making that little bit of a change to have Michael and Forsey in the backfield at the same time. You've got your speed runner in Michael, you got your power runner in Brock Forsey, who's put on some pounds this year. Feels like he's faster than ever.
Boy, both of those guys have, Wayne. They're both strong. They're definitely faster than they were last year. It's a tremendous tandem to have back there.
Little pitch out to Forsey again. He's knocked down, but another positive gain for Boise State. Down to the 18-yard line.
Well, he ran right into the back of Matt Strophus. Really, Strophus might get credited with the tackle on that one. Wayne, as our viewers at home can see, our Idaho Lottery clock box up in the right-hand corner of the screen, a new addition that we have for the broadcast this year. Hope it keeps the fans informed of what's going on, down and distance, time, score. You got it all with the Idaho Lottery clock box.
Speaking of fans, they're still filing in here. Second down and about 5 for Boise State. Pitch to Forsey. Down to the 10-yard line. That's another first down. They'll mark it just shy of the 10-yard line. Brock Forsey, the workhorse right now. 4 carries. He's got about 36 yards, and his long was 13. 1 catch for 14 yards. So he's really working right now.
Well, this offensive line's moving off the ball really well. They're sustaining their blocks. They've got some huge gaping holes in this Vandal defense so far in this first series. And if Coach Hawkins was worried about intensity, it looks like the offense at least has come out with some intensity.
Right now, though, this is the toughest thing you can have. A first and goal from right at the 10-yard line. Wingfield in motion. They hand it off the middle to David Michael. He's down to the 4. Gain of 6, just like that.
Well, that doesn't leave you an opportunity for a first down in that territory, but to get 6 on the first down certainly helps your cause.
That changes the whole thing right there. You know, it's so tough. You want to have the first and goal from inside, the 6 or 5, something like that. To be right at the 10-yard line, it's really tough. But the Broncos going right up the middle, finding some holes, finding some softness in that Vandal defense.
And obviously David Michael's okay. He's back into the game. Just had a little momentary problem he had to take care of.
Quarterback option, pitch it out to Michael, cuts it up and in, and he's in for the touchdown. David Michael, and what a drive to open up the 2002 season for Boise State.
Boy, the Broncos just crammed that ball right down Idaho's throat. An impressive drive, very impressive drive. David Michael finishes it off with a little power drive. Watch these legs churn as he makes the first hit here, and then he just keeps the legs going to get himself into the end zone.
Yeah, I said he's a speed guy, and indeed he is. Tyler Jones on to kick the extra point. Now, Nick Laragan is injured, but he's coming back. He may make the trip to Arkansas next week, but hey, Tyler Jones is good. And so we haven't played a whole lot of time. We've got 10-19 to go here in the first quarter, and Boise State has taken a 7-0 lead, Larry.
Very impressive drive, Wayne. Passing game. They ran some screens. They passed the ball down the middle. They had Forsey running the ball. They had Michael running the ball. Here's the pitch by Dinwiddie. Excellent job of making that outside backer, I believe that was Kramer, commit. And then he pitches the ball to David. Now look at the leg drive. And that was Gilligan's helmet that went flying through the picture there.
Gilligan's something else. I mean, that guy, if there's some part of his body not flying out of the picture, it's not right.
And every part of that body has got tattoos on it. Man, that guy's got some beautiful artwork.
11 plays, 87 yards, took 4 minutes and 41 seconds. And Dan Hawkins, if he was concerned, he's not really concerned right now. Tyler Jones will get ready to kick off. Bryant, one deep man. And also back there is Ben Allen. Or is that Cedric Thompson? They've got 2 twos.
The first half kickoff is brought to you by your neighborhood Pizza Hut restaurant. Pizza Hut, the best pizza under one roof.
I'm going to go Cedric Thompson, the wide receiver. This is going to come to Bryant. Backing him all the way up 10 yards deep. They'll start at the 20-yard line, Idaho will.
If there's one thing Tyler Jones can do, it is kick the ball deep.
Well, and that was into that little 3-mile-an-hour wind. Now, it's not much of a wind, but it's there. So this will be our first chance to take a look at Brian Lindgren this year. He's a big guy. As you see, 6'4", 208 pounds, a junior. He passed for, 426 yards against Boise State last year. And then the next week, he set an NCAA record. I mean, he passed for like 1 million yards. So he was unbelievable.
Now, that's a lot of yards.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously it's a little exaggeration on my part. Handoff. Gershner, not a whole lot there. Chauncey Acco was standing up there. He was there. So were a couple of other Broncos. Take a look at the Tom Scott Motors starting lineups here with the offensive line for the Idaho Vandals. And you see they're pretty big. 320-pound Robert Mitchell, the big guy. And then Zach Gershner, the guy who just carried the ball. Josh Jelmberg. Everybody expects it in Moscow land for Josh Jelmberg to have a big season this year, a wide receiver. Lindgren can get the ball to him, no question about it. And Lindgren looking for his first pass of the season, dumps it out to Gershner, and he is caught behind the line of scrimmage. And the Broncos getting the job done defensively. Starting lineup for the Broncos defensively. Julius Roberts, big guy, 6'5", 234 pounds. Just a sophomore, really improving.
Big guy in height, a little lacking in the poundage department. He's been trying to put it on. Merritt, Acco, and Avalos at the linebackers. Cameron Merritt is a hitter. And obviously we talked about Q Michael, Wes Nurse, a big hitter, Gabe Franklin, the leader in interceptions last year.
That was a real young secondary last year, but it's really grown up a whole bunch. So 3rd down and 11, maybe even 12 for the Idaho Vandals. Here comes some pressure. Receiver falls down. Intended receiver that time was Eric Hunter, and he just kind of fell down trying to make the cut on that turf. And so 3 and out for Idaho. Not a great start. Not exactly what Tom Cable was looking for.
We kind of wondered if the receivers were going to have any problem, especially Idaho's receivers, because they haven't worked on this field a whole lot. It's kind of an odd surface to get used to. It's very, very forgiving, and the players love it when they land on it. But to make cuts on it, you have to really get used to the forgiveness of it.
All right, Ryan Downs back to punt. Gilligan to receive. This is a pretty good punt by Downs. Gilligan will watch it go out of bounds, and now let's see where they mark it. Official still walking. He's up close to the 45-yard line. And it's going to be at about midfield. We'll be back. The Idaho Vandals, the Boise State Broncos, the Broncos on offense when we return. We are back. Wayne DeZubak, Larry Pulowski with you here on the Bronco Television Network. It is a beautiful night, as I mentioned, here in Boise. It should be about 70 degrees when we get into the 4th quarter here. Perfect football weather. And Boise State taking that first drive, 11 plays in 4 minutes plus, and 7-0 they lead it. And when we took the break, they're still trying to figure out where the ball should be placed. They put it at the 47-yard line. So Boise State at their own 47, 1st down and 10, and a handoff to Brock Forsey. He kicks it outside, and he's into Idaho territory at the 49-yard line. And he is brought down by Jordan Lampos. Let's go down to Jeff Caves on the sidelines. Jeff?
Defensive adjustments are what you're looking at. Of the Vandals come out with a 4-3. Watch the outside linebackers, Poe. They jump down, and then they jump back. That's the confusion they're trying to create. Jordan Kramer is really the critical guy in the Vandal defense right now. He's the guy that's jumping back and forth and has a lot of responsibilities. Wayne?
Thank you, Jeff. This, of course, the Governor's Cup, and we will hear from Governor Kempthorne a little later on here in this quarter. He'll be joining Jeff Caves on the sideline. Not a whole lot there for Brock Forsey this time.
Penetration up the middle that time. Kelly Talaval from his defensive line spot makes the tackle on Forsey, one of the few non-gainers that the Broncos have put up today. You can see the numbers already starting to mount a little bit for Forsey with 6 rushes. It's almost 7 yards a carry. That's not bad. Notice that math. Right, quick.
You were on top of it, man. You didn't even have a computer, calculator, or anything.
Nothing. I was right out of here, baby.
Yeah. I'm impressed. Dinwiddie on 3rd down throws underneath the coverage to Billy Wingfield. It's all Bindley Wingfield and about 5 Vandals, and they knock them out of bounds, but not before a huge gain and another first down for Boise State. And right now, the Bronco offense just has Idaho on its heels.
Well, that bouncing around that Jeff Caves was talking about on the sideline by the outside backers for Idaho may be the reason that Billy Wingfield is wide open on this play. Wingfield comes across the formation. Nobody goes with him, and he's out there all by himself with a bunch of blue turf in front of him.
Ball resting at the 31-yard line. Broncos with another first down. And Ryan Dinwiddie's number starting to mount up as well. Dinwiddie 4 of 5 passing for 42 yards. Brock Forsey had Matt Strophus in front of him, but a good defensive job by the Vandals to get Strophus out of the way and get to Brock Forsey for no gain.
Yeah, that play, either you've got to seal off the corner or it's not going to work, and the corner didn't get sealed. The Vandals did a good job of stringing that play out. Swenson also, Greg Swenson in there at the fullback position along with Strophus, so you had Strophus at the blocking tight end and Swenson in as a blocking fullback.
By the way, Jordan Kramer, the guy that Jeff Caves just told us was critical in that Vandal defense, the guy who made the stop. So the Broncos go trips on the right side. Handoff right up the middle to David Michael, and he is stopped. Not much there. It's going to be a third down.
Really odd delayed handoff that time. I haven't seen the Broncos run that play very often. They did run trips to the right, and then they have Michael kind of delay, and Dinwiddie keeps the ball and hands it off and holds on to it simultaneously. It's kind of an odd play. I mean, he could pull that out of there if he sees the defense doing something that's not going to allow that run to work.
So third down and 5. You see our clock there ticking. 6:16 and going. Boise State up 7-0. Gilligan in motion from the shotgun. Ryan Dinwiddie. He's got a lot of running room. Well, I tell you, then he slipped. He had enough running room, I thought, for the first down, but a good job by Chad Kadama, who made him try to make a cut. And, of course, as you saw, Dinwiddie went down on that turf.
Decision time now. 4th and 3 for the Broncos. Looks like they're not going to kick it. They're going to go for it.
Now, they've got a lot of confidence in Tyler Jones, but they also have a lot of confidence in the way they've been running and passing this football here today.
There's another opportunity to see the footing on this field. Is just still, even Dinwiddie not quite sure of that footing.
Swilly in motion. Haven't called his number yet. Dinwiddie to David Michael. He's got it the first down, and David Michael to the 15 and down to the 12-yard line.
Well, that's the confidence that Dan Hawkins has in this offense. Just unbelievable. 4th and a long 3, and he didn't even hesitate. He knew he was going for that one all along, and D. Michael just wide open on the right flank. Play action fake to the right. See David Michael wide open. Strophus was actually open going down the field too.
So the Broncos, the first time they had it, 11 plays, boom, touchdown. And now they're just moving it again. First down at the 12. Right up the middle, Brock Forsey. And let's see if they give him the touchdown. They do. Brock Forsey, touchdown. 13-0 Boise State.
Excellent interior blocking that time. The whole offensive line did just an awesome job in opening a hole that Brock Forsey just didn't have any trouble seeing, I can assure you of that. That offensive front.
Well, if there's any question mark about the offensive front, I don't think there's a whole lot now.
I mean, all across, Navis, Huff, Vian, Colburn, College, they all had their blocks up in that play.
Tyler Jones is true. The Boer High School kicker puts it through, and the Broncos lead it by a score of 14-0 with 4:53 to go here in the first quarter. Well, stay tuned towards the end of our broadcast for the Idaho Lottery Lucky Play of the Game. We'll feature one of today's top plays, sponsored by the Idaho Lottery, encouraging players everywhere to score big. And speaking of scoring big, Broncos lead this thing 14-0. That was an 8-play, 53-yard drive in 4:01. First downs, Boise State 9, Idaho none.
Wow. I mean, I don't think there's too many people that thought Boise State was going to come out like this that have watched them practice. Very lackluster this week.
Rod Bryant takes it 4-yard deep. And he is out to the 16-yard line.
Bronco coverage team doing a great job there. Anytime you can keep them inside the 20, that's a victory for the cover team. And this is a very good cover team.
There you see part of the capacity crowd here tonight. Took a while for this thing to sell out, but it did.
Yeah, tell us about it.
For those in Boise who were hoping to see it live, bottom line is we weren't going to televise it unless it was sold out. And we did not get the authority to lift our blackout until about 4:30, 5 o'clock today.
About actually 4 o'clock when we got word, and it was a very tense time for all of us over at KBCI, our flagship station here in Boise.
And of course, we're happy to have everybody around the state watching this game. It's a beautiful night here in Boise for this game. Lindgren throwing it underneath, knocked away. And that was Chauncey Acco who knocked it away. The pass intended for Keith Greer, the tight end.
Keith Greer, a 6'2", 250-pound freshman out of Southern California, Santa Ana. Couldn't get his mitts on that one.
Bronco defense really feels they've grown up from a year ago. Last year, this young defense had to start against South Carolina and then play Washington State, a tremendous Washington State team. Gershner busting it out a little bit. A little power there by Gershner, and he's out close to the 25-yard line, which would be about a yard shy of a first down. Zach Gershner.
5'10", 202-pounder out of Oregon. Very strong runner, kind of a slasher. A lot of similarities to Forsey in a lot of respects. Maybe not quite as fast, but certainly very quick, finds the holes, and you saw the power at the end of that run by Zach Gershner.
Gabe Franklin saw it up close and personal. Third down and about a yard. Very close. Gershner again. I think he's got it. And that would be Idaho's initial first down of the game.
Vanderbilt's trying to get that power running game oiled up here a little bit. Let's take a look at this from the ground level, right in there with the big guys. Just a lead block there by O'Connell, the fullback, who at 200 and almost 50 pounds is a brute.
Bobby Hammer trying to rip his head off. Gershner out to the 30-yard line. Speaking about Bobby Hammer's a guy that wants to own a bunch of hotels, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. Here's Jeff Caves on the sideline. Jeff?
Well, Wayne, you mentioned that the governor, Dirk Kempthorne, would be here. He's sidelined. Right now it's tilting Boise's favor as an old student body president. You got to go in there and give him some kind of pep talk, huh?
Well, that's true, but I tell you what, if there's any way to start the football season, I think this is it. A beautiful day, and you got two great teams out there, and listen to the spirit that's happening.
Well, people were wondering whether you'd have the Vandal hat on or a Boise State shirt. What kind of compromise do we have going here today?
They gave me. I've got the Vandals and I've got the Broncos. Now, I'm an alum of the University of Idaho. Will always be proud of that. I'm also proud of the Broncos. And after the game, I'll be presenting the governor's trophy to whichever team is the victor.
All right, well, thanks for joining us down here and enjoy the game.
Thanks, Jeff. This is great.
Wayno.
All right, thank you, Governor, for stopping by. It is the Governor's Cup after all, and Governor's Trophy will be presented right after the game, as he said.
Get a little hardware after this game. I forgot all about that.
You bet.
It's too early in the season to think about giving cups out.
Isn't it? All right, third down and 3 for the Idaho Vandals. Pass to Jelmberg is complete. Very close to a first down. I think he's got it by a yard. So 2 first downs for Idaho, both by really about a half a yard. But hey, it counts, doesn't it?
Jelmberg is the main man as the receiver for this Vandal club, and you see the short rollout by Lindgren. One of the things he does very well is just throw on the run, and they get just enough for the first down.
That's what Idaho wants to do, at least get their offense out there for a little while longer. You go 3 and out, you just can't get a feel for the game, and that's what you want Lindgren to do. Nice little handoff to Gershner in there. Wes Nurse brings him down, but not before a solid 5-yard gain.
Yeah, this big offensive front for the Vandals starting to get their feet under them a little bit now, and they're driving off the ball. And this defensive front for the Broncos is not exactly what you would call, massive by any stretch of the imagination. They have good size and they have excellent quickness, but they're really not very big. This Vandal offensive front, much bigger than the Bronco defensive front.
You were telling me, though, you're very impressed with Boise State's overall team speed this year.
Unbelievable. Across the board, almost everybody on this team has improved their speed.
Gershner. And Gershner is close to another first down. So a couple of runs, a couple of 5-yard gains. They may have to measure this puppy.
Again, good drive off that offensive front. Gertschner coming to you from the tailback position, cuts this thing up, gets behind that big offensive line. And that right tackle you just saw there, Jelinek, that dude's huge. I mean, he's 314 pounds.
That's 3rd and 1 now, but really 3rd and about a half a yard. And Gertschner's got that with ease. He fumbles the football, but let's see if it was down. The turf caused the fumble. That can't happen. So first down, Idaho. They'll have possession of the football.
Yeah, the ball popped out. He hit his back pretty hard on the turf, brought down, I believe Gabe Franklin brought him down. And the ball popped out at that point. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Vandals. Let's watch the end of this play and watch as his back makes contact with the turf, the ball will pop out.
Broncos up 14-0 here, and the quarter winding down, as you see on our Idaho lottery clock. Under a minute now to go here in the first quarter. Jelmberg in motion, and Brian Lindgren throws underneath the coverage. It is complete to the fullback coming out of there, and that is Kevin O'Connell.
Chanciaco coming over from that middle linebacker position. Didn't wrap up, just tried to knock O'Connell out of bounds, but O'Connell's bigger than Chanciaco. Compare the two side by side.
Tell you what, really nothing fancy here by Idaho, just getting it done.
Well, nobody doubted that this offense wasn't going to move the ball against the Broncos. Now, can they get it in the end zone?
Wide open, over the middle, knocked down by Wes Nurse at the last second, and I'll tell you what, wide open down there was Kelly Need, and that's now they got him listed as a defensive end,
which would be very difficult since they're an offensive.
I know. That's what threw me for a second. They moved him over to tight end a little bit too for this thing.
Well, they lost one of their tight ends to a knee injury, and as you see the overthrow here, Nurse in good shape. He's not going to let that big guy out running. Need 6'4", 250 pounds.
See, Need was wide open, but Nurse was able to gain some ground on him in a heartbeat.
Some of that speed I was just talking about. The corners especially are absolutely flat out fast.
There he is, Brian Lindgren passing to Jelmberg. And he's got it, and he'll mark it at about the 29-yard line, which is going to be close to another first down.
Nice route run there by Jelmberg. Cut that thing off, came back to the ball. No way the defensive back could stay with him. Gabe Franklin out there on that at the right cornerback position.
A lot of substitutions coming in now for Idaho. 3 in, 3 out.
Julius Brown playing the left cornerback. Julius probably one of the most improved defensive backs on this Bronco club this year.
Well, they brought some big guys in on a 3rd and 1, and we have run out of time, though, in the first quarter. So far it's been all Boise State, but the Idaho Vandals got a drive going. They're at the Bronco 29-yard line. They got a 3rd down and 1. A big play for Idaho coming up. We play at a quarter here at Bronco Stadium. And the Boise State Broncos lead the Idaho Vandals 14-0 here on the Bronco Television Network. Idaho fans now with something to yell about. Their team on the move. They're down 14-0, but finally have got a drive going here. 3rd down and really less than 1 yard to go here. They get the big guys in. They hand it to Gertschner right up the middle, and he gets the first down. The drive continues. This is, I think, an imperative drive for Idaho to finish.
Yeah, they really need to get on the board to get their own confidence levels back up, and this drive should be a good start to getting that to happen. And again, O'Connell, number 44 at that fullback position, is like having another guard in the backfield.
You can see some of the scores from around the country, courtesy our Sinclair Oil ticker. First down. Dump it out to Jelmberg. Jelmberg one-on-one with Quentin Michael. Quentin Michael makes the stop, but Jelmberg gets very close to yet another first down, about a yard shy.
Take a look at our Dodge first quarter stats. A lot of offense for the Broncos, obviously. 7.4 yards per play, a very impressive stat. That's the one that stands out most to me, and 9 first downs. That's amazing.
Yeah, Idaho got it going, though, at the very end of the first quarter. As we start the second quarter now, they're trying to close this gap.
Well, that offensive play caught Julius Brown out there on an island all by himself, and he couldn't contain the 2 receivers that were out there.
Jelmberg in motion. O'Connell, the fullback, takes it, and he's down to the 15-yard line.
Well, I think the Broncos would like to see O'Connell, the guy that's going to carry the ball, although in that case he does get the first down. Certainly not a guy that's going to break a long one on you, you hope.
That's all they're doing, playing smart football right now. They got 9 yards on the first down, and on the second down, they're able to get a first down with O'Connell. Here comes Orlando Winston into the game with the play from Tom Cable. He and Jelmberg will split out wide to the left. A little different formation here with Gershner in the setback. Into the end zone, looking for Jelmberg, knocked away. Nice play by Julius Brown.
Vandals kind of looking around for a flag, but no flag forthwith. Julius Brown on the corner. According to Kenny Lawler, defensive back coach, he is the most improved defensive back and basically all attributed to the one-on-one coverage. You can see here he is right in the hip pocket of Jelmberg.
What's interesting, you forget about this, the Broncos have such great wide receivers that when you're a guy like Julius Brown, you got to cover the Bronco receivers every day in practice. You get better yourself because they're so good. So, second down and 10, and there's a flag. Our first flag of this season. And it could be delay a game. No? Yeah, it is. Nope, procedure. So, a procedure penalty against the Idaho Vandals. That'll back it up 5 yards.
I believe we had a couple guys in motion simultaneously, which created the flag. They move it back 5. This is one of the scenarios that happened last year. Vandals only put 13 points up. They ran up a huge amount of yardage. I mean, they had over 500 yards, almost 600 yards on Boise State, but then we scored 13 points.
Yeah, last year the problem was some roughing penalties. Jelmberg, they snapped the ball quick. Gershner, they snapped the ball quick, and Gershner just nice little play there. Gets 6, maybe 7 yards.
Quick pitch out to Gershner, and he just takes it off the left side. Shows you the power, again, that this young man has. Very strong running back.
Well, that was something. The Vandals just got up to the line of scrimmage and snapped the ball right there. The Bronco defense wasn't necessarily set. That was a good call. Third down now. This is a big play for Idaho. They do not want to settle for a field goal here if they don't have to. Idaho Winston goes wide to the right. Jeff Stowe to the near side. They're looking for Stowe. He's got it. He's down to the 4-yard line. That's a first down.
Slant route by the Vandals gets him the first down. Excellent throw by Lindgren. He really hums this thing in there. Watch the velocity. He gets on this throw right before he gets hit. And a good slant route there by the Vandals.
First and goal for the Idaho Vandals, down 14-0, but an impressive drive right here. Idaho 5 out of 6 third down conversions tonight. Gershner in for the touchdown.
Untouched, basically.
Yeah, he just bust right in there. Zach Gershner. So the Idaho Vandals have cut the lead down, and that's an impressive drive indeed.
There's Zach's numbers on this drive, basically 11 rushes, 41 yards. And that offensive front just plowed a hole for him to dive into the end zone untouched.
Extra point attempt coming up for Idaho. The Idaho Vandals have cut the lead in half. Zach Gershner, as we mentioned, 11 carries, 41 yards, and that one touchdown, and all of a sudden, 12-17 to go here in the first half, and Idaho has closed the gap. Boise State 14-7. Well, Dan Hawkins concerned about that Vandal offense, and the Vandals showed wide. 19-play, 84-yard drive. Wow. Brian Pope will be kicking it off. David Michael and Brock Forsey deep to receive, and David Michael will come up to about the 5-yard line. Take it, bobbles it. Now he's got it in stride, and look out. David Michael to the 42-yard line. The ball's fumbled, but it was knocked away by the turf. A nice return of 37 yards by David Michael. I mentioned that scoring drive. Impressive indeed. 7:25 on the clock, 19 plays.
Yeah, we talked about how Boise State had kind of crammed it down the Vandals' throats. I think the Bronco defense may be choking a little bit on that drive.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're choking now for some water because they were out there for a long, long time. And they're hoping that the Bronco offense can stay out there for a little bit. Ryan Dinwiddie, you can see, 5 of 6 for 54 yards. Broncos haven't gone to the big play yet. Sometimes they like to do it after a play like that. Brock Forsey. Swenson leading the way. And Forsey gets about 5 yards. He's brought down by Patrick Libby.
Looked like it might be a little bit more of a gainer than what it was ended up to be, although 5 yards on first down you'll take any day of the week. Vandals did a good job of reacting to that wide, sweeping action that play comes out with.
Yeah, right now the big question, I think a lot of it could be answered on this drive, is whether or not Idaho's defense can stop Boise State's offense. We know that Idaho's offense can score, but so far we haven't seen an indication that Idaho's defense is able to stop BSU, and that could be a problem all night long. So we will see.
This will bring up a 3rd and short situation.
Speaking of those 3rd down conversions, I think Idaho was 5 of 6 in that drive. That's huge.
Yeah, that slant route got him down to the 4-yard line. Probably the biggest play. That was 3rd and 8, and they converted that one. Brock's numbers for the day.
3rd down and about a yard. Ryan Dinwiddie, quarterback option designed for that purpose right there, to get a couple of yards. And that's what he does. First down, Broncos. Boy, what a gorgeous night here. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
Take a look at this speed option action. Lineman just getting enough push up the field to get Dinwiddie free for a 2.5-yard gain.
First and 10, Boise State. Play action fake. Out to David Michael, but hey, Jordan read that one absolutely perfect. Jordan Kramer was right there.
Yeah, good form tackle. Wrapped up real well on David Michael. He couldn't go anywhere. Broncos, you're right, Wayne, very conservative so far on the offensive end of things. They haven't really gone very deep into the playbook. Dan Hawkins said earlier in the week he wasn't going to go very deep into the playbook, and so far he's staying true to form.
Broncos taking on Arkansas next week down in Fayetteville, a game you'll see right here on the Bronco Television Network. But as the coach would say to Zubak, we're taking them one at a time. So they got Idaho right now, and Dinwiddie steps in. That's Billy Wingfield for the first down. And as I mentioned, he had a big fall, and he's down to the 35-yard line.
You know, Dinwiddie's the kind of a quarterback, when he feels comfortable throwing to somebody, he's going to go to him quite often. And he got real comfortable throwing to Wingfield in spring ball. And then this fall during two-a-days, he got even more comfortable with him in a couple scrimmages. And he's kind of maybe going to be the Jeb Putzier from last year that caught so many passes.
David Michael just kind of, not necessarily limped off, but it looked like he got some kind of Charlie horse or something, so he's out of the ball game. Lou Fanucchi, haven't called his number yet. He's in there. This is Brock Forsey cutting against the grain, lowers the head, and he's down to the 29-yard line.
Well, nothing wrong with Forsey. Lowers that shoulder again. Really learning how to deliver that blow onto the defensive player over the last couple of years. I mean, he really can get that last little bang in there and get that extra 2 or 3 yards.
And boy, I tell you what, as a defensive guy, when you get hit like that, you think about it the next time you go to tackle.
You find out if you have any cavities or loose fillings in a deal like that.
Nice gain on first down of about 6, second down and 4. Broncos trying to respond to that nice drive by Idaho. David Michael. A little bit of a crack, a little bit of a crease. We've got a flag down. David Michael finally brought down. It looks like we could have a holding penalty. Jordan Lampos pretty much had David Michael wrapped up, and that's going to be holding against Boise State.
First penalty, I believe, on the Broncos tonight.
So they'll explain the options to Idaho, back them up, or make it third down.
Oh, you back them up. There's no question here. Not sure what they're chatting about.
Holding. Offense.
I think they were just trying to figure out where the hold occurred, and they're going to mark it off from there. Pitch back, actually deep handoff to Michael. That hold might be over there on Coolidge, number 73. I think he just, might not have been a hold. I think it was a tackle.
So it's still second down for Boise State, but now they've got some work cut out for them. Second down and 14.
Well, this might force them to open up that passing game a little bit. It's been pretty conservative so far. Maybe it's time to open it up just a smidge.
They got two speedsters in there right now. Finucci in motion. And Tim Gilligan, who calls timeout because Tim wasn't sure what was going on. He goes, wait a minute, maybe I was supposed to be in motion.
Boise State. That is their first charge. Timeout.
So Broncos going to take a break. We'll do likewise. 14-7 here at the Sun-baked Bronco Stadium. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. All right, later on our broadcast, we'll show you the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. This special feature is brought to you by Jiffy Lube, your locally well-oiled machine. Broncos trying to be a well-oiled machine right now. They got second down and 14. After that holding penalty.
You're right, Gilligan was supposed to be in motion.
And he's offside.
That play was... maybe that's why they're not...
Snapped. Full start. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
All right, let's go down to Jeff Caves on the sideline, Jeff.
You know, you guys have pointed it out. Boise State's nickel and dime their way all the way down the field. And it's really interesting because if you remember, the last couple of seasons, guys, we see bomb after bomb after bomb. But has there been a pass attempt downfield by BSU yet? And if not, when is that going to come?
Maybe right now, Jeff. I mean, they're backing themselves up. They've got second down and 19. This might be a good time to go vertical.
They've got 4 wideouts in.
Yep, look at this. Down to the 40-yard line. Brock Forsey. They tried to spread the D, but the defense saw it coming.
Now they'll bring their nickel package in. A lot of defensive backs on the field right here for the Vandals.
So third down 15, ball resting right at the 40-yard line of the Vandals. You'll see rushing, Boise State with an edge. It's Gilligan in motion. 3-man rush. Dinwiddie out of the pocket. Throws underneath the coverage, and it is complete and out of bounds, and that's complete to Lou Finucci. He is shy of a first down, but a pretty good pickup all the way down to the 28-yard line.
Good job by Finucci to continue running. Dinwiddie gets flushed out as we look at the isolation on Lou Finucci. First route's not there. It was a stop route. He sees his quarterback scrambling, and he just keeps coming until he gets the ball. Good job of gaining ground on his defender so that the pass can be completed.
Broncos going for it on fourth down. Broncos 1 for 1. They've already tried it tonight on a fourth down and got it. Pitch out, David Michael. Lots of running room. Michael turns on the speed. He's going to score. Touchdown, David Michael on the pitch out. And the Broncos lead it now, 20-7.
Little deception there by the Chris Peterson in that offensive group. Chris Peterson, the offensive coordinator for the Broncos, sending everybody to the right except David Michael and Ryan Dinwiddie. He just pitches the ball out to Michael. You knew he was going to get the first down. But I don't think anybody suspected that he would score. Look at that play. A little razzle-dazzle back in the backfield, and Michael turns on a little bit of speed, makes a couple of cuts, and gets into the end zone.
David Michael, 4 rushes today, 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tyler Jones has hit his third extra point, and with 7:23 to go here in the first half. Boise State is back on top by 14. It's the Broncos 21, the Vandals 7. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network.
Wayne, we look at our latest BSU trivia. What's the highest single game attendance at Bronco Stadium? Appropriate question for today, I think.
Yeah. I think I know what it is. Well, I don't know the exact number, but I think I know which game it was. But
you don't know the exact number?
I don't know the exact number. Are you kidding me? Yeah. That was pretty high. Tyler Jones kicking it. Kicking it out of the end zone. You know, Cedric Thompson gave it the old college try, but go ahead.
That was actually a 2-part question. The second part of that question is, one is the home attendance, and the second part of the question, what's the largest crowd they've ever played in front of on the road?
That'd probably be South Carolina last year.
What, 83,000?
I think that could be a good guess. Why don't you wait until we give the answer? What are you doing?
Well, that was a guess.
Oh,
if I was
guess.
right, don't even, you know. That was a guess. I didn't know.
Play the game, okay?
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Brian Lindgren comes back out on the field after a very efficient drive that went for 7 points for the Vandals on their last series.
from the I formation. Lindgren waiting. He's going to be sacked. Ryan Nelson gets him. That Ryan?
That's Bobby
Hammer. There you go.
And Julius Roberts both ended up there, but Hammer's the one that's going to get credit for the sack.
All righty.
Let's watch this pocket collapse. Lindgren takes a 5-step drop. Nothing happening. Hammer gets good push up the middle. Roberts coming from the outside, and they both get a piece of the action.
All right. I guess we got the Lexus answer, don't we? Huh?
Yeah, here's our Lexus trivia answer. You were right, Wayne. South Carolina, 83,019 last season. And then 2 years ago in this stadium, 30,856. They have to be fairly close to that today.
I'm sorry I ruined your game.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Schoenberg, he fumbled it. Let's see what they got. Vandals saying they got it. Broncos saying they got it. And, of course, the only one that counts are the officials. So we'll wait for them.
Yeah, the guy in the striped shirt's going to say who's really got it. And the Vandals keep it.
You bet.
Pass over the middle to Joenberg. Watch the strip right there. But he comes right back over on top of it. I'll get a little better angle of the strip. Watch the strip right here by Avalos.
Nice job getting those hands on the ball. So now it's third down for the Idaho Vandals. Third and about 8 yards, let's just say. Lindgren gets it out, and that is complete to Cedric Thompson, and Thompson makes a couple of moves, and he's finally corralled at the 45-yard line. But again, another huge third down conversion for the Idaho Vandals.
A lot of confusion on the Bronco defense that time. Guys running all over the field prior to the snap. They weren't really sure where they were going. Lindgren just dumps this ball off. Pretty easy catch and run there. Not a whole lot to do except try to get over there and tackle him. Julius Brown again out there by himself, and we've seen 2 different plays where the Vandals have been able to isolate that one side.
Well, they're now 6 out of 7 third down conversions. They're golden on third down. New runner back in there for the first time. Malford Shaw.
Right side of this offensive front opens up a big hole for Shaw to run through. A little bit of a counter delay play here. Look at that thing. My goodness. And Avalos doesn't wrap up on the first hit, so he picks up another 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, 6-yard gain, second down and 4. And the Vandals once again back in Bronco territory at the 49-yard line. Clock running, as you see, 4:55 to go here in the first half. Broncos by 14. Shaw again. And this time he's got his legs taken out from underneath of him. Chauncey Acco getting in there.
Acco and Avalos, 2 very mobile linebackers. Certainly not the biggest guys you're ever going to find. Avalos, 5'11", 214. Acco checks in at 5'11", 228. Really a couple of bookends in there at the backer spot, but they could come up and hit. Avalos didn't have to wrap up that time. He had somebody by the name of Chauncey Acco with the guy's legs, and he took him high.
3rd and 4. So this has been really the nemesis for Boise State all night long. The third down play. Get him in the third down. Haven't been able to hold him. And again, Joenberg has the first down, just like that. So it continues on third down. The Idaho Vandals convert. The story of the first half so far for Idaho.
Isolation out here on Joenberg. He's the go-to guy. Whenever they need a sure-handed guy with the ball, he's the guy that's probably going to be at the end of the reception.
Chris Carr getting there, but they just kind of threw out in the flat, and that's a long run for a guy like Chris Carr to get out there in a hurry. So a first down for Idaho at the 44. They'd like to put another score on the board here. Joenberg in motion. This is Shaw, big running back. And he is down to the 40-yard line, but we got a flag right at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be against Idaho. Let's check it out. They're talking it over. I didn't see the initial call. Did you see what it was?
No.
No, okay.
Top block. Offense.
Thank you.
15-yard penalty.
Wow.
Still first down.
I haven't seen a chop block called in a long time. I mean, it's basically a personal foul.
Yeah, he had to go back and take that little book out of his back pocket, check to see what the signal was for a chop block.
should be, something.
Yes,
chop. I think that'd be pretty easy, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
You could do the tomahawk chop.
The tomahawk chop.
You could do a karate chop. You could do all kinds of chops.
A lot of different chops here. It's a fun call to make, but you don't see it very often.
Axe chop, there's a million things you can do.
Well, I was waiting to see what it was. Never could figure it out.
No, his hands on his hips. It was pretty boring.
Well, let's see if Idaho can overcome this. They've got a lot of third downs, but tonight they're faced with a 1st and 25 right now. That's the kind of drive killer. Let's see if they go deep. There's another flag down before things even get going. The clock was down to 0, so possibly delay a game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still.
So now you're talking about 1st and 30. So the Vandals just keep backing themselves up. Hey, stay tuned at halftime for the Treasure Valley Dodge Dealers halftime report. We're going to have all the scores and highlights of today's college action. It is the Dodge halftime report. It'll be coming up in just a few minutes. So 1st and 30. Flip it out to Jelmberg. One-on-one coverage. Jelmberg, nice little move. They gain a few back. He gets it out to the 46-yard line.
Mocktier Clay on the tackle. Mocktier Clay, redshirted last year, a transfer from Arizona State. Going to get a lot of playing time this year. He and Gabe Franklin, Julius Brown, pretty much handle the duties at the corner spot. Chris Carr will get some time there. Chris Carr's been playing a little bit of everything.
Smart play by the Vandals. You got 1st and 30. You don't try to go for it all. They just picked up 9 right there. So now they got a 2nd down and long, but they're working on it.
Blitz from the Broncos.
Haven't seen much of that. Oh, there could be a penalty there. There it is. Holding.
Wes Nurse got his hands on Orlando Winston way down the field. Of course, I guess better to take that penalty than get beat deep.
Well, and that's what happened. Winston had ran right by Nurse, and so Wes just grabbed him by the arm and said, "Whoa, you're going too fast."
Pass interference. Yards from the previous spot. Automatic. 1st down.
That's the killer on that thing. Is you had 2nd and 20. You come on a blitz, you put everybody in man-to-man coverage, and then you have a holding penalty. Interference penalty, actually.
This is what absolutely drives the coach nuts. I mean, you got the chop block on the one side, then you got the team in a 1st and 30 situation, and 2 plays later, they get a 1st down. You can see it's pretty even Steven as far as penalties go. Both teams getting caught pretty even. So Cedric Thompson goes wide to the right on a 1st down and 10 now from the Boise State 40-yard line. Right underneath the coverage, the pass is complete. That's the tight end coming out there to catch that, or is that the fullback? I still can't see a number. There's 93. That's our guy. That's Kelly Need.
That's our defensive end.
Yeah. One of those changes they made. Didn't make note of it.
Well, there hasn't been a whole lot of pressure on Lindgren. Broncos do have 1 sack, but other than that, he's pretty much been able to stand back there and do virtually what he wants. And if you give that guy all the time in the world to throw, guess what? He's going to make some completions.
Yeah, he'll pick you apart. We saw that last year. Like we mentioned at the top of the show, he had 426 yards passing against Boise State last year. He can pass the football. Zach Gershner. Now the Broncos giving up some room on the ground. And Gershner has been strong there anyway. Julius Roberts made the stop, but not before a gain of almost 6. We'll make it 2nd down and 5.
Gershner certainly getting some splendid blocking by the big guys up front. And the Broncos having a little trouble with making those tackles stick. They're getting hits on guys, but they're not wrapping them up, and it's starting to show.
Lindgren rolling to the right, looking for Stowe. He made a big play before, and he's got another 1st down. Now they're going to mark it right at that 1st down marker.
Let's take another look at Lindgren, again rolling out to his right. Very good thrower on the run. A little short of the 1st down, but 3rd down conversions haven't been a whole lot of a problem for the Vandals tonight. Very nice route. Thrown that time by Stowe.
Lindgren now 12 of 16 passing for 109 yards. Third down and inches. Kirshner. He has it. First down. Good defensive play, but when you only need inches, that was Quentin Michael who came in and made the stop.
Big hit there by Quentin, but a little too late as the first down is achieved. Another third down conversion.
University of Idaho. That is their first charge. Timeout. TV timeout also.
Well, thank you. I guess I know where we're going. They break, we break. A minute 40 to go here in the first half. 21-7 Boise State, but again, the Vandals making a charge. All right, it's time to gear up. Get the completely new Bronco logo apparel at the Boise State Bronco Shop. Your choice of new Bronco logos on name brand gear, and see the new value price Bronco wear line. You can shop at the store in the Student Union on campus in Boise, or save some time and travel by ordering online at www.broncoshop.com. Gear up with the Broncos today. Look at that stuff. Good stuff. Pass underneath to O'Connell. And O'Connell gets it down to the 6-yard line.
Well, defensive coordinator Ron Collins is going to have, I'm sure, some serious words with the Bronco defense at halftime as the Broncos
second charge timeout.
Take a timeout here, and you look at O'Connell. That's a big fullback.
Yeah, he really is. Of course, next week we're going to be down in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Houston Nutt will visit with him and the Arkansas Razorbacks. Boise State against Arkansas. 5 o'clock will be on the air. And 2 years ago we were down in Little Rock, and it was a wild game. The Broncos tied it up at 31 in the fourth quarter, and then lost it 38-31. But I tell you, they're at the 1 foot line when the game ended.
Yeah, it was absolutely one of the most fun games I've ever been to. Not only the crowd, the excitement, and the game itself was excellent. And definitely don't confuse them with Arkansas State, because it's two different teams.
I was trying to say Boise State, and I had Arkansas in there. Now, Arkansas Razorbacks, and that, of course, will be the opener for Arkansas.
Who did Arkansas State give up, 63 to somebody?
Yeah, I saw that. Okay, yeah.
Ouch.
That hurts.
Coach Dan Hawkins, in his second season here at the helm of the Broncos. A little concerned with his defense right now.
Sure. We've got a lot of reason to be concerned right now. Lindgren. Back to pass, throws, touchdown. O'Connell just hanging around. The fullback was wide open. Nobody picked him up. Right now the Bronco defense is having their problems. Idaho Vandals have closed the gap to 21-13.
Minute 27 left on our Taco Bell 2-minute clock. Should give the Broncos at least an opportunity, if they can get a halfway decent run back, to maybe attempt another score before halftime.
Keith Stamps, the field goal kicker on, or the extra point kicker, place kicker. And he'll try to make it a 7-point game again. So the Idaho Vandals were up against it that drive. They had a first down and 30. Had a 9-yard gain, and then a pass interference call, automatic first down against Boise State. Got out of it. Another third down conversion. They've had a bunch of them tonight, and just drove it right down the field and scored. And Tom Cable's pretty happy with his offensive group. It's a 21-14 ball game with a minute 27 to go here in the first half.
Yeah, with the exception of that one sack, Lindgren pretty much just standing back there, big and tall at 6'4", getting a good view of the Bronco defensive backfield, and he's been able to find his guys pretty easily. Look how much time he's got. Pumps here, pumps there. Oh, here's O'Connell. Look at that, giant fullback standing all by himself at the goal line.
Wasn't a pretty catch, but it was a catch, and it was a 13-play, 80-yard drive that took nearly 6 minutes off the clock, so a couple of long drives.
Cameron Merritt and Chanciaco nowhere in the picture until it's too late, and he's already in the end zone. Linebackers got to be responsible for that fullback coming out of the backfield.
So here we go, the kickoff taken by, I got to wait here. This new guy, Chris Carr, is in there. Usually Brock Forsey and David Michael, and Chris Carr got it, gets it back to the 25-yard line.
I think David Michael and Chris Carr might have a little conversation about who really should have caught that ball. Michael, obviously the guy you want to have with his hands on the ball on a kickoff return. I'm sure Chris Carr does an admirable job, but still.
All right, let's see what the Broncos try to do here with a minute 21 to go in the first half. They played conservative or started going vertical. They got some speed guys all to the left. Finucane, Gilligan, and Wingfield. Any one of those guys can burn you. Instead, they throw it over the middle.
It's Trent Lundeen, the tight end. 81. You're going to see a whole host of tight ends. You'll see an 86, an 82, an 81.
Little first down right there. The Broncos taking what Idaho gave them. Vandals watching deep. Broncos took under the coverage. First down. Dinwiddie to Brock Coursey. He steps out of bounds, shy of a first down, but he stops the clock with 1:04 to go.
So far, this two-play drive, pretty good clock management. Steady movement down the field and stopping the clock is the key to running the 2-minute offense. Dinwiddie does it very well.
Broncos are up 14-0, then 14-7, then 21-7, and now 21-14. So the Vandals offensively have answered the challenge here.
Broncos with only one timeout remaining. So you're going to want to try to save that.
Dinwiddie steps up into the pocket. The pass is complete. There's a flag down, however. That is complete to Gilligan, but there's a flag down and a holding call against Boise State.
It's going to negate a nice little catch by Tim Gilligan. They'll bring it back. March it off 10. And we're down to 54 seconds on our Taco Bell 2-minute clock.
Not sure who got called for it, but I know Rob Vine was right there, and he was not a happy camper. He was just kind of standing there with his hands on his hip, so he wasn't happy about it.
Offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Pete, second down.
Could have been Darren College right there. He's got him in a hold.
Yeah, and that's, so obvious back behind the pocket and really unnecessary because there's no reason to hold the guy back there. You've already got him behind your quarterback. Just keep him going. No reason to hold there. That's the inexperience that we talked about. College at the left tackle, Coburn at the right.
From the shotgun, Dinwiddie with the time underneath the Brock Coursey. The Broncos will probably have to use their last time out.
They're going to let it go. They're going to line up and go. And they can't spike it. They've got to get some yardage out of this play. Third down.
Broncos taking a lot of time here. Third down and 7. Dinwiddie. Complete. Finucane.
Get out of bounds, Lou.
And Lou trying to get out of bounds does. With 11 seconds to go.
What is he doing out there?
He was checking all his options, what he was doing. Checking his email, checking his options.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty spooky way to do it. Lou Finucane, one of the big play receivers for this Bronco team, wide open at the 40-yard line, decides now to get a little fancy and make a cut inside. I'm sure Coach Hawk very happy that he managed to crawl out of bounds.
And crawl. You could just see him go, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me.
A long way from the sideline.
11 seconds to go here in the first half. Broncos with a first down, but that's immaterial. They want to put it in the end zone. Looking for the end zone. It's going to be overthrown. Intended for Billy Wingfield. So 6 seconds on the clock.
Almost better, I think, in this case with the speed of the Bronco receivers to, try some crossing routes and then let the guy run after the catch. These guys are so good at it. They're so fast. You throw into that prevent defense. There's 3 guys back there on Wingfield. Get it into their hands and see if they can run it into the end zone. Now we're going to try a long field goal.
Yeah, they're going to bring in Tyler Jones, who they feel very comfortable with kicking. So he's going to place it down at the 38-yard line. So we're talking about a 48-yard field goal attempt by Tyler Jones. Kick is up, and it is good. 48 yards, Tyler Jones. The Broncos score.
Great job by B.J. Rohde. That snap was low. Rohde picked it up off the turf, got it set in place, got the seam of the ball out of the way. Excellent job by B.J. Rohde.
Well, the Broncos will go in knowing they've scored, feeling pretty good about 24-14. Let's go downstairs, Jeff Caves.
Well, I guess we could say, Coach Campbell, Boise State feels good they got 3, but you got to be pretty happy with where you're at right now.
Well, I think we're all right. We're not playing very good on the defensive line. I mean, they're really just throwing us all over and blocking the snot out of us. that's the big issue I see. Everything else I'm happy with. I see good things. You know, at field goal, it's a great kick. So,
what about the tempo, the emotional level of your team? It's so balanced, so unlike last year. Do you keep it that way at halftime and want them to come out like it's the first quarter again?
Well, I think so. I think you got to stay balanced. I think that's where we've grown, but we just need to get some play out of our defensive line. I think we can have a chance at this.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. Okay, Wayne, that's it from here.
All right, good enough. Tom Campbell, head football coach of the Idaho Vandals. Boise State leads it here at halftime, 24-14. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. Our Dodge halftime report continues now. Of course, the score right now at halftime, Boise State 24, the Idaho Vandals 14, Bo. And Boise State got off to a quick start, and Idaho just kind of hung in there, and right now they're within 10.
A couple of really good drives by that Vandal offense. The passing game for them seems to be working very well. Lindgren's got all the time in the world, but it did start off all blue and orange. Forsey gets the first score of the game, powering it into the end zone.
Broncos just really moved the ball down the field at will. This is the second touchdown coming up right here. A little pitch out to David Michael.
Yeah, a little trickery, a little misdirection. Gilligan out there getting a decent block, enough of a block anyway, to get Michael sprung to the end zone.
And then Idaho just came back. They had a lot of third down conversions. I think they made 6 out of 7.
Look how open that is. Look, where are the defensive linemen? They're getting blown off the ball is where they are.
Yep, Zach Gerstner with a touchdown there. And then Lindgren looking, finds Kevin O'Connell, the fullback, just wide open. And the thing we talked about is that you give Brian Lindgren all the time in the world, and he's going to find some people. Here are some of the stats. As you see, Boise State still leading in most of the categories, but as indicated, the margin is narrowed.
Time of possession, very close. I mean, within 6 seconds of each other.
Look at Idaho's third down conversions. That's amazing. Although Boise State's pretty good at themselves, but 8 out of 9, a wow. And remember those first downs I talked about? 9-0 at one point in favor of Boise State. 14-13 now as Idaho starting to move the football.
And the Broncos with one very costly penalty on defense that gave the Vandals a first down. They had a 2nd and 20 situation, and they had the pass interference call.
All right, Boise State leads it here at halftime, 24-14. The Dodge halftime report will continue after this on the Bronco Television Network. Here come the Vandals out of their locker room. 24-14. Really, to be honest with you, it's the kind of game I thought we would see, because we knew that Boise State's offense was good. We knew Idaho's offense was without question. It was really the defense of Idaho and maybe even the defense of Boise State, although a lot of people thought it would be good. Last year they were a young team. They had some problems from the get-go, and tonight they're having their problems, especially on third down.
Yeah, they certainly are having a lot of trouble. Hopefully they've been able to go in and make some adjustments, and certainly the Bronco offense hasn't had a great deal of trouble figuring out this new Vandal defense, but the definite lack of defensive front. Actually, the front sevens of both teams have not played very well. So I'm sure the coaches are trying to make those adjustments, but there's only so much you can do mid-game.
I think the thing that surprises me is the lack of aggressive play. You know, defensively, we haven't seen a lot of blitzes. Lindgren has been able to stand in the pocket, just kind of throw, as has Dinwiddie. Let's go down now to Jeff Caves. Jeff? All right, when you go to take him, you lose the mic. We'll get back to you, Jeffrey. We'll figure out what the problem is and get back with you. But
if we were lip readers, we could probably figure out what Jeff.
We would have been okay. You bet.
That's all right. We'll get him back sooner or later. You know, if there's one thing Caves does like to do, it's talk and then be heard. So we'll get back to you.
Oh, poor Jeff. One mic doesn't work and you pick on him. There you see the crowd here. Capacity crowd on hand. A lot of people still going out there. I mean, they were here hours before and doing their thing.
I'd like to thank our viewers down the line. Channel 3 up in Lewiston, KLEW picking up this game live on the Bronco Television Network, and also our folks Channel 3 down in Idaho Falls, KIDK covering the Idaho Falls Blackfoot Pocatello market. Welcome to Bronco Television Network.
And sideline, here we go. Sideline hot now.
Stand by.
I think we got Jeff. Let's go down. Jeffrey, go ahead.
Hey, we'll try this again, Wayne. Speaking to Dan Hawkins coming back out, he said this game's gone just about how he expected, with the exception of they cannot stop the Vandal running game. And if they can't, he thinks they're going to be trading points throughout the second half. I asked him about the long ball, why Boise State hasn't launched it. He said, you know, essentially looking at our game plan, that based on what they've presented them defensively, they haven't had to. And he pointed out to me, he said, how many punts do we have? None.
0.
So it's going pretty well offensively, but everybody's concerned right now with the defensive line of Boise State. And you heard Cable, you know he's worried about his front seven, so we'll see. One interesting thing, though, in talking to a referee, he said a lot of the Boise players are having problems with their stomach during the game, and he thinks it's because they're dehydrated and they're some combination of stomach problems. So we'll see if it affects their stamina late in the fourth. Wayne?
All right, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it, as always. Some insight there. Tyler Jones kicking off this third quarter, and again, as he always does, really kicks it deep. Bryant coming over, taking it 2 yards deep, and he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he is wrapped up at the 17, 18-yard line. The helmet goes rolling, and Bryant's down, and Vandals will go on offense.
Yeah, that helmet that's rolling around out in the field belongs to Clint Furr, one of those coverage guys. Gets down there and mixes it up pretty good. Again, keeping the Vandals inside the 20-yard line. A big win for the coverage team when that happens. But what a weapon Tyler Jones is.
All right, Jeff told us one of the big problems the Broncos have had on defense is stopping the run. Zach Gershner really having a pretty good, solid first half. Lindgren passing. And that again is a tight end, Kelly Need.
He's a big target out there. 6'4", 250-pound tight end. Used to be a defensive end, apparently, according to our depth chart.
Now, the one thing I do notice, we were talking about this being a rivalry game, but I have noticed the intensity level has kind of dropped a little bit. When it's in November, and it was for Big Sky, Big West, you name it, whatever title it was for, there was a lot of young hooping and hollering going on. That's kind of died down here. Gershner gets stopped in the backfield first time in a while. He did manage to get back to the line of scrimmage, but the Broncos were right there on him.
Ryan Nelson getting upfield. Andy Avalos coming on a blitz, getting some penetration. And penetration into an offensive backfield is always going to create trouble. Another big third down.
Well, these two teams, after tonight, they've got really tough schedules. We talked about Boise State and Arkansas, but Idaho's got Washington. I mean, it doesn't get very easy for these two guys. This is a big game for both teams to get off on the right foot. 3rd down and 2. Pass is complete, and that is Orlando Winston.
90% conversion ratio on 3rd down. That's now 9 out of 10. That's incredible.
It is unbelievable. And there's nothing fancy about that. Winston just went down a couple, 3 yards, just got beyond the 1st down mark. Nice, easy pass. Look at this. Boom, gotcha. It's like playing catch in the backyard.
Your goal when you go into a season, maybe 60, 65% conversions on 3rd down is considered excellent. 90 in this first game is definitely excellent.
Ball just outside the 30-yard line. Play action fake. Lindgren going deep. Looking. Julius Brown was staying with his man. It was just overthrown. Everybody was overthrown that time. It was intended for Cedric Thompson, but Julius Brown had him covered perfectly.
Julius Brown providing coverage.
Cedric Thompson looked like he kind of stopped in the middle of his route. Lindgren really wheeled that ball down the field. He had that thing in the air for about 50 yards.
Well, it's interesting because they went for broke right there, Idaho did. They've been very conservative tonight, kind of like Boise State has been. They've always been able to make a couple, 3 yards on that 1st down play. We'll see how they can do on a 2nd down and 10. I don't think they've been in that situation most of the night. Gershner cuts against the green, and look at that. He gets 8, just like that.
Broncos not filling their proper contained lanes, overrunning the play, and then Gershner just cuts it back. Very simple play. Blocking up front pushes the Broncos one way. Good seal block there on Paul Allen, who's getting a little time on that defensive front.
We talked about 9 out of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Here they go again. Another 3rd down. 3rd down and 3. Gershner up the middle. And he's got a 1st down from my viewpoint. And this really takes a toll on a defense. When an offense gets you, and you get a team in constant third down, and constantly they get it, boy, I tell you what, it takes its mental toll on it.
It takes a physical toll, too. And you're right, though. I think the mental part of it's worse. And if there was something, bad that these guys got into in their pregame meal, Jeff alluded to some stomach problems that the referee was telling me about in some of these defensive linemen. He's right. That could add up, too, towards the end of this game.
Pass it out to Johnberg. There's a nice hit by Quentin Michael. There's where we expect a little bit of aggression. A gain of about 3, but Quentin Michael comes up and hits him. You don't think maybe the stomachs are queasy because they saw the game film at halftime, the first half defensive highlights, huh?
There might be something to that, but Quentin Michael there, you saw his ability to close and then finish the deal, which is making tackles, and he does it better than only 3 Broncos, I believe, are ahead of him on the all-time tackle list of Boise State.
Well, the Broncos recognize, attack, and react. That's what you've got to do, and that's what Quentin Michael did that time. So second down. Lindgren. Intercepted. That's Julius Brown. He's got a lot of running room. He's got some blockers. He's down to the 10, and he's caught from behind. But Julius Brown, he's been covering him real well all night long, and that time he just stepped in front and made the big play.
I've watched him do that in practice 3 or 4 different times. He has really learned how to break on the ball at the Division I level. Lindgren takes a 3-step drop, little kind of fakes the play action in the backfield, and excellent reaction by Julius Brown. And then he's got a host of guys in front of him. They almost clean out a path to the end zone, but they can't quite do it.
48-yard return on that interception by Julius Brown. Here it is again. Boom, gotcha. It was intended for Jellenberg, the go-to guy, and as you can see, he's got a wave of blue, but he was caught from behind. Broncos now right at the 10-yard line, 1st and goal. Brock Forsey down to the 8.
Brock trying to improvise a little bit that time. Thought he saw a hole to the left, made a cut. Actually, his blocking, if he would have just got behind, probably would have picked up a few more yards. But, who can fault Brock Forsey for making a decision he does so well most of the time?
There's a guy who said his best decision was to come to Boise State. He said it's been a great fit for him, great fit for the program for sure.
Local kid out of Centennial High School in the Meridian School District here in the Boise area.
Too many people on the field are going to have to call for a timeout.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, David Michael getting off there, but they had 12 guys out there. So they're going to have to blow out a timeout. So we'll take a break as well. 10:44 to go here in the third quarter. 24-14. Boise State leads it, and they've got a 2nd and goal when we come back. And stay tuned towards the end of our broadcast for the Idaho Lottery Lucky Play of the Game. We'll feature one of the Broncos' top plays of the day, brought to you by the Idaho Lottery, encouraging players everywhere to score big. Broncos trying to do just that right here. They've got a 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line as Brock Forsey goes in motion. The handoff to Brock, cuts it up down to the 6-yard line. Broncos 3rd and goal now.
Well, you really hate to have to burn a timeout in this situation. Still over 10 minutes left in the third quarter, and you have to call a timeout. That really becomes very costly. And it never fails. That seems to come back and bite you by the end of the game.
Huge down right here for Boise State. You think they're in 2-down territory? You think they'll go for it? I mean, a touchdown here puts them up 31-14 and puts a whole different complexion on the ball game.
Personnel changes coming in very late.
Forsey, the lone setback. Dinwiddie back. Shuffle pass to Brock Forsey. Forsey down to the 2-yard line. I thought he might have been able to get in, but good defensive reaction by the Idaho Vandals. Keep him at the 2, and now the Broncos got a choice to make.
And a flag. Late flag, so there's some kind of personal foul. Horribly costly if that's on the Broncos.
Personal foul. It's against Boise State. Wow. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Boise State Broncos, and that will cost them big, and it probably brings Tyler Jones out.
Sportsmanlike offense. 15-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Yeah, I think this is on Brock Forsey is what happens. Not letting him up, not letting him up. Fine, Brock Forsey throws the ball at somebody right there. So, lost his cool. Tyler Jones comes out. They'll set it up at the 24-yard line. 34-yard field goal attempt by Tyler, who hit a 48-yarder to end the second quarter. Good snap. And this one is no good, wide right. So the Broncos get a big interception from Julius Brown. He takes it down to the 10-yard line. Broncos get it down to the 2, and a personal foul, and then a missed field goal. And it remains 24-14.
Pretty conservative offensive series there inside the 10 for the Broncos. Not much invention in that series for sure. Hand the ball off 3 times, get a personal foul, and miss the field goal. That's a horrible waste of an interception return like that.
Boy, to come out of there with no points, that's a big mental letdown by the Boise State Broncos. And of course, Idaho's going to come out now with renewed vigor, I guess. We'll see what happens. Ryan Lindgren started his collegiate career against Boise State a year ago. Has a chance to make some moves here. Pass underneath the coverage to Jellenberg, and he's got 8 yards, just like that.
Yeah, and Jellenberg being covered by Andy Avalos is not a real good scenario to be in for the Bronco defense. Do not want linebackers matched up on wide receivers very often.
They're going to say it was a 7-yard gain, so it'll be 2nd down and 3. Clock ticking away here in the 3rd period. And again, a very quiet crowd, very just kind of a different feeling for an Idaho-Boise State game. Zach Kirshner draws the crowd. He's short of the 1st down.
Still will bring up a very short 3rd and 1, maybe 3rd and 1 foot. And the way that Idaho's been converting these 3rd downs, it shouldn't take too much of an effort to get that half a yard.
Yeah, think of it as this is the kind of down that you end up not converting. You know, you go back, you're 10 of 11, something like that, and then you go down and you don't make a 3rd and a foot. But we'll see. You got to believe that Idaho will get it. They've been doing it all night long. We'll see if the Broncos can jump up here and come up with a big defensive stand. Kirshner bounces off one guy and gets it. Second effort on Kirshner's part. Didn't have it on the first contact. Gets it on the second.
Zach Kirshner gets the 1st down for the Vandals. Julius Brown made the tackle. Gain of 5 yards.
Noticing some of the Bronco defensive front just kind of propping up, just propping themselves against linemen. You know, if you're not striking the blow, it's going to be very difficult to stop a 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2. Just too much momentum by that offensive line.
They have now made 11 of 12 3rd down conversions, but more impressively, 11 in a row. They're 11 for their last 11. Little delayed handoff to Kirshner, gets 5. And he is out to the 38, maybe 39-yard line.
Zach Kirshner carries. Tony Altieri makes the stop.
Tony Altieri was the guy on the stop, and Tony's kind of walking to the sideline over there. Let's hope he's okay.
Tony with a very scary neck injury against Rice last year. We chronicled that here on the Bronco Television Network.
Again, Jellenberg this time right at the line of scrimmage. Chanciaco was there.
Well, that
Bobby
time,
Hammer.
Bobby Hammer got some push up the field. He was up the field 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and when that happens, there's no way that that play can be run successfully. And then Acco comes in behind him and finishes it up. You can see here on the right side of your screen, you should see number 98 pushing his offensive tackle back into the backfield, and then Acco helps him finish it.
Well, we talked about Tony Altieri going off, and coming in his stead was Alex Guerrero, who was just a freshman, but a big freshman. Here's another 3rd down. This is 3rd and 5. Pass incomplete. And how about that?
Bobby Hammer put a good lick on Lindgren, too. Lindgren had to kind of stand back there and bob and weave a little bit because his receivers couldn't clear. Hammer nailed it.
Well, some pressure that time on Lindgren, and he got happy feet, threw it away. Couldn't find anybody wide open, and now we'll have a punt. Haven't had many of these tonight.
It's only the second one for the Vandals, and I don't believe Boise State
hasn't punted. Well, you know, Dan Hawkins pointed that out to Jeff Caves. Have we punted? Hey, tell me. So this is only the second one for Ryan Downs. High snap. Good punt, though, and look at this. Takes a kind of a back spin stop, and it's going to be inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, one thing you're going to see with this new turf, Wayne, is these punts that land inside the 10, they pretty much just hit and die.
So the Broncos are going to start inside their 10-yard line. 6:41 to go here in the third. 24-14 Boise State. Well, coming towards the end of the game tonight, stay tuned for the Subway sub of the game. We'll highlight a non-starting player who has made a big contribution to our game tonight. Brought to you by Subway. Subway, eat fresh. All right, Boise State. After a nice punt by Ryan Downs, the Broncos have the football at their own 8-yard line. They come out of the I formation. 24-14 is our score. Brock Forsey, the pitch back to him. He's out to the 10-yard line.
Kind of getting a taste of the old Green Bay Packer attack here recently, Wayne. Pitch right, run here, run off tackle, run off guard.
Look at those big offensive linemen.
Matt Navis coming off of a knee injury last season. Rob Vine, arguably, he and Huff, the best offensive lineman on that front five.
Second down, Dinwiddie. Screen. Gets it to Forsey. Forsey's got some running room and the first down. Needs a couple of blocks, and he's all the way out to the 36-yard line. Brock Forsey, huge gain. Broncos out of trouble. We do have a flag down, though.
Roughing the passer, I believe, is the call. I don't know if that gets tacked on. Is that a tack-on penalty?
Yep.
26-yard kick on the play.
So that's what it'll be. So 15 more right here.
That's a big play.
Yeah, it is. Broncos moved all the way out from the 10-yard line to the 49.
Hands to the face. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That turned out to be a 41-yard play.
Let's see if we can see the end of this play. Two different vandals there. I'm not sure who actually got the penalty called on. Kelly Talavau was one guy. But it was a great screenplay nonetheless.
So Boise State in vandal territory, but just barely at the 49-yard line. David Michael cutting against the grain. Look at him go. He's got some room. Needed a block, didn't get it, but he shed the tackler, and he's inside the 30 to the 28. Oh, David Michael.
Did you see Ryan Dinwiddie? He took on, he was the guy that initially missed the block. Then he took on Nick Hale, number 11, the cornerback, and knocked him on his backside. That's the quarterback out there blocking. Holy cow.
Wow, Jeff Caves, what do you got?
Well, you guys pointed out that this turf from Astro Play is going to take a little while to get matted down, so those little rubber granules that simulate dirt don't go flying up in guys' faces. Tim Gilligan had the problem in the first half. Tony Altieri went out in all that pain. It was just those rubber granules are in his eyes, and they feel like sand. And Larry, you're right about the Boise State defensive line. They have got to keep the offensive linemen off of the linebackers, so they're letting them scoop around them. I'm sure Poe can explain that. They are propping and sitting, and they seem to be doing a little bit better job. Wait.
All right, the pressure's on, Poe. Explain the scoop.
Well, scoop is nothing other than you have no room to operate as a linebacker if you've got defensive or offensive linemen in your face all the time, and they're basically just, it's a total breakdown by the defensive front. Forget the scoop part of it. Caves is going nuts on the air.
He's making up terms.
No, it's not. It's a real term, but we don't need to explain it here.
Brock Forsey, oh my goodness. That's a first down, but he just takes some people, and now we got people flying everywhere. And I talked about intensity before. All of a sudden, it just jumped up.
I can't believe there hasn't been not a flag flying on that. The Vandals had one crack, and then Rob Vine just drilled somebody in the back. Watch Forsey at the end of this one. See the extra little hip suck that he has there that just propels him into the defenders.
Yeah, that was the first down. By the way, David Michael now, where is he? 6 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, having a pretty good day.
Not bad.
His long carry was for 22 yards. So David Michael getting hot. He's the running back now. Look at this. He cuts up. Once he stops goofing around trying to find a place to go, he just goes north-south.
You have to be a little careful how you make your cuts on this turf. You know, Jeff was talking about those granules that are still kind of risen up to the top of this thing and hasn't really settled properly yet. It makes a big difference when you make a cut.
Take a look at Gilligan down here. Watch this guy fight.
Gilligan's a guy we've seen take some horrific hits, but watch the tenacity. He continues to
What? What's the deal? Here. Yeah, right. You're innocent, Gilligan. We had you on tape.
It's like a boxing match.
Yeah. Brock Forsey down to the 5, to the 4.
Gilligan lost his helmet on that one.
This time Gilligan's helmet's going. He goes over to the official and says, did you see my helmet's down there?
How do you suppose that got off?
We got a game within a game here we're watching. Watch this now.
Okay, we ISO him once. It's ISO again. Let's see how he does get that helmet knocked off. Well, it just flipped right off. It must not be strapped on there very well. You tell he's a receiver. You know, receivers don't have to have their helmets.
What are the chances those guys are going to exchange Christmas cards?
Probably not much. First down inside the 5 for the Broncos.
We're talking about all that little rubber granules. Watch his right foot here, and you'll see what we're talking about. Like, boom, see it all?
Just a rooster tail coming up behind.
That's like sand, but it's rubber.
That's not good.
They knew where he was going on first down, first and goal. And they're going, you know, they're in the defensive huddle. This is Forsey's going to get it. Forsey's going to get it. Let's all go get him.
Yeah, this play kind of doomed from the beginning. It doesn't look like everybody gets off the ball at the same time, except all the Vandals that came across the line at the same time. They were in cahoots.
Yeah, no question. I mean, when you got Chad Kadama, you know, slamming down from his linebacker spot right from the get-go, you know they're in the huddle.
Is that Slamakadama?
Yeah, Slamakadama, that's what he did here. Here's a little twist here. Let's see what we got. Forsey, touchdown. Once again, it's a twist and a touchdown.
Wow. Interesting play. 3 guys shift out.
Kind of a diamond shape.
Yeah, the Vandals can't react quick enough. They form a little diamond out there, throw the ball to Forsey, they score.
And it was quick before the Vandals could react to what it was, and the Broncos are up 30-14 with 2:18 to go here in the third quarter. Here it is again, Poe.
Watch the shift now as the players shift over to the left side of the line of scrimmage. Rocky Atkinson goes out there, Strophus, Lundeen, as the kick is good. And then they just tossed it to Forsey, and he waltzed into the end zone.
Well, you had 3 blockers out of the diamond shape. So interesting situation there. Boise State now up 31-14 with 2:18 to go here at Bronco Stadium on the Bronco Television Network. Wayne DeZuback, Larry Pulowski with you back here at Bronco Stadium, and the Boise State Broncos have taken a 31-14 lead, and a little flip pass out there to Brock Forsey, and Tyler Jones kicks it deep. Rob Bryant will take it. No, excuse me. Cedric Thompson jumps in front of him, and Thompson thought about taking it out, and I tell you what, he barely got a knee down in time. Here's the shift. Go ahead, talk about it, Larry.
Well, they take the 2 outside blockers, move them all the way out. They flank the H-back out there, so now they've got basically three tight ends in front of Brock Forsey. That's pretty simple right there, isn't it? The Vandals don't react quick enough, and they score.
Sure got the job done. By the way, Ryan Dinwiddie now 15 of 17 for 166 yards passing and a touchdown. That scoring drive, 9 plays, 92 yards, 4:23 off the clock.
And you can credit 15 of that to the personal foul on Dinwiddie, but still a very impressive drive.
Back to pass, Lindgren looking deep over the middle. It is caught. And a nice play there by Orlando Winston to make the catch. By the way, you see our Sinclair scoreboard. The BTV Update scoreboard is brought to you by Sinclair Oil. Look for the sign of the big green dinosaur and fill up with Sinclair.
I see him right there, the big green dinosaur. Let's take another look at that play. Quentin Michael, you don't see this happen to Q very often, but he doesn't look back for the ball, not sure where it's at. That doesn't happen to that young man very often.
So a nice catch by Orlando Winston, knowing where the ball was. Quentin did not, and it's a first down at the midfield for the Idaho Vandals. And again, Lindgren going to the air. Goes behind Zach Gershner. Andy Avalos was right there as well.
A good push up the field. Dane Oldham got up the field that time. Ryan Nelson got up the field a little bit. Quentin Michael was coming off the corner, and that pocket just kind of collapsed back in on Lindgren, and he had to dump it off.
Second down.
You talk about getting back into the ball game again with 1:43 to go here in the third. This is another big drive. When you get the ball at midfield, you have a second down and 10. You really, really feel like you should score. And this is what the Idaho Vandals have to do. Another critical series right here for them. Draw. Right there is Bobby Hammer. I told you about Bobby Hammer before. When he graduates, he wants to open up a line of hotels.
What's that all about?
I laughed about that. I said, so you're talking about instead of us having to stay in the Hilton, we're going to stay in the Hammer.
Hammer Inns.
The Hammer Inns. It has a good ring to it.
Oh, I'll charge him for that. I'll do a little consulting work.
Hey, entrepreneur, you know.
I like big thinkers. I like big thinkers.
Exactly. That surprised me when he told me that. But, you know, why not? It worked for Hilton. 13 on those conversions. Remember, they had 11 in a row until the last one. And obviously, Lindgren changing the play. He got it off with 1 second to go on the play clock. Out to Winston. And Orlando Winston has a first down, and there you go again.
That's amazing. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. Excellent job by the Vandals tonight in that third down situation. It's just always have the right play called. I mean, a lot of those conversions have been short ones. This is a 10-yard. 3rd and 10 situation, they get 12 or 13. I don't know where Mokhtar Clay was, but he wasn't covering him.
Well, Mokhtar Clay was just giving him way too much respect. And you got to know what he's going to think. He's thinking about first down. And he was worried about him going down, out, and down. And, you know, really, he gave him the first down. But that's a young kid. Lindgren with plenty of time over the middle. Nice catch by Josh Jellenberg for another first down. And that is all the way down to the 24-yard line. Marking right at the 25, it looks like.
And again, Brian Lindgren just has way too much time to throw the ball. 5-step drop. Michael again coming off the top. He can't get by. Chris Carr got beat a little bit to the inside. Good job of making the tackle, but not great coverage.
Yeah, right now the offensive line doing a good job giving Lindgren the time to throw. Quick snap. Here comes Gershner around the outside, and boy, I tell you, nice attack.
That's Cam Merritt.
Cameron Merritt, senior, 6'2", 215-pounder, comes in and makes the stop, recognizes the play, and comes up and gets him.
This guy's the most quiet, unassuming guy you'd ever want to meet off the field. On the field, he's absolutely an assassin. In fact, he's in our open to the Bronco Television Network telecast. He's the guy that hits the guy and makes him fumble. You can see the tenacity of number 42, Cameron Merritt.
Lindgren, by the way, now 20 of 28 passing for 194 yards, that 1 interception. And we've come to the end of 3 quarters of play. Right now it looks good for Boise State, but once again the Vandals are driving and looking pretty good offensively. 31-14 Boise State as we go to the 4th quarter here at Bronco Stadium. We are getting ready for the 4th quarter here. Wayne DeZubak, Larry Pulowski with you live at Bronco Stadium. 31-14 Broncos, but again, the Vandals have got a drive going. They've got a 2nd down and 12. Attendance tonight, 30,878. And over the middle they go to Gershner.
Chaunciaco, nice job of reacting to that pattern. Picks the backup out of the backfield. Provides the coverage, makes the tackle. Just a very short game.
So 3rd down. This has been dangerous for Boise State's defense.
Yeah.
Bronco defense. Normally you say, oh, 3rd and 10, great. I'll take that every day. But tonight they have not been able to maintain.
Only 2 times, right? That they've stopped him on
only
3rd down.
Twice.
This would be a good place to do it.
One stretch, Idaho had 11 consecutive made 3rd downs. Big tight end going to the right side. Kelly Meade. A little confusion for Lindgren, but he's checking off there. Crowd making some noise for the first time. Lindgren back, throws underneath the coverage, knocked down. Nice play by Chaunciaco. 4th down. You would believe the Vandals might go for it here. I would. After 3 quarters, there you see the stats. Boise State with 351 total yards. By the way, that 30,878 is a new record. All right, new record for Bronco Stadium. How about that?
And we were worried about televising the game because of a sellout. Holy cow.
Well, it took them all day to get there, but they finally did. They're going for the field goal. Stamps from 42 yards out. Low, partially blocked the line of scrimmage. It looked like Boise State will get it at the 20-yard line, and I'm not sure.
I think Deshaun Kabong is the guy that jumped up into the middle. It must be him because he's getting all the high fives.
Well, Deshaun Kabong. Just want to say the name. 31-14 Boise State. They'll have the ball at the 20 when we come back. There it is, Deshaun Kabong. Watch this number 28 coming in. Got a hand on it right there.
El Kabong.
El Kabong.
That was my favorite cartoon when I was growing up.
By the way, it's first game for me, too. They bring it back to the original line of scrimmage. Overthrows everybody.
Flag down.
What he does. And there is a flag down. So, line of scrimmage to the 25.
It's now going to be the 15 because that's a holding call on the Broncos.
So that wasn't a very productive play, you're saying? 30,876 is the announced attendance, as we mentioned, and that is a new record.
That is a big number.
Well, and Labor Day weekend, that's amazing.
Holding. Offense. Penalty is assessed half the distance from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
All right, so the ball's going to go all the way back to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, it's not half the distance. It's a 10-yard penalty. I don't know what he's talking about. What's wrong with that referee?
Broncos bring three guys out wide to the right, including David Michael. So there's nobody in the backfield, and there's a flag. And nobody in the backfield except Ryan Dinwiddie.
Before the ball was snapped, encroachment. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I don't think I've ever heard of encroachment on the offense. But
no, me neither.
Somebody obviously was lined up incorrectly. Let's go 1st and 25 now.
Boy, they're
How's
just
that sound?
Boise State looked golden after the partially blocked field goal, and then they get it at the 25. Now they're at the 10.
Good news is it's still first
I was going
down.
to say, that was my next line. That's all the bad news.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal your line.
That's all right. Go for it. You can see where I was going.
I did.
Wasn't very good if you could just read me that.
You saw the map.
You bet. Dinwiddie. He gets away from a lot of trouble here. He's going to run it. He's going to get it back to the 20, and he's out of bounds. Ripped out of bounds by Rod Bryant. So nice little gain by Dinwiddie right there. Gives the Broncos a chance. I mean, now they got a more respectable 2nd down and 13.
Hey, you can't underestimate the scrambling ability of Ryan Dinwiddie. He showed us it right in the first quarter in that first series. He got a nice scramble.
What's that mean, Poe? Flying home right after the game?
Yeah, could be.
2nd down and 13. Dinwiddie, play action fake. Gets away from one, but he can't get away from 3 others. Vandals were coming, and they were all over him. So it's going to be 3rd down.
Well, he's tried 2 pass plays. His receivers have been covered both times. Now they're almost forced into a situation where they're going to have to pass.
And the Vandals really coming here. I mean, they've got nothing. They're down 31-14. Nothing to lose, so they're bringing a little bit more pressure.
Well, this is a point, too, that a lot of times the Broncos like to run screens. We've seen it a couple times already tonight. Now Dinwiddie's going to call another timeout.
Timeout.
Well, he was
Boise State.
losing time on the play clock.
That is their second charge timeout.
So they only got one more to go.
Well, this obviously is the first game of the year because it's been a little disconcerting the number of timeouts Boise State's had to burn in situations where they really don't need to.
Broncos 4 out of 7 on 3rd down conversions, but this one would be a long one. 3rd down, and like I say, about 14 yards to go.
I mean, you expect a certain amount of this in a first game. I think Coach Hawkins may be a little bit disturbed with how many times they've done it.
Jeff Gabes, you down there? What you got?
I'll tell you what, I've been waiting to do this all game because I'm going to get Pulaski back for making me look bad on the scoop block definition. You know, in 1976, Boise State opened with Idaho. In 77, it was a blowout game. BSU was 6-0 in the Big Sky. They go up north. They win 44-14, and it was the infamous onside kick by BSU. Larry Pulaski was on that team. Larry Pulaski was in that locker room. I don't know if Poe was on the hands team on the onside. I doubt that. But Poe, why don't you fill us in on that little section of Boise State history?
Scare him first, though, because you just launched your helicopter after him.
Yeah, I got the Apache on my side. Caves, it's coming after you, dude. No, that was a very unfortunate situation where head coach at the time, Jim Kreiner, decided to kick a field goal in the 4th quarter when we were up by 30 points. Or kick an onside kick and then kick a field goal. It was a horrible situation.
All right, Broncos, tough situation here. Blitz coming. Dinwiddie buys time, throws, complete. First down. Tim Gilligan with the catch right in front of Billy Wingfield. Two receivers were over there, but they were trying to ad-lib a little bit to help Ryan Dinwiddie out.
Gilligan ran about 60 yards for that 14-yard gain. He came all the way across the field, just kept running and running and running. And remember, we talked about the speed of these receivers. He just outran his man across the field until Dinwiddie could get him the ball. That was actually more like an 18-yard gain.
I would be surprised if at some time tonight Broncos do not go vertical.
Well, they might not want to show anything to Arkansas that they don't have to.
Looking, thrown on the flat. That's Brock Forsey. Look at that move. Forsey. He's to the 30, 20. Nobody's there. Bryant, the last chance to get him, and he does. At the 8-yard line, Rod Bryant makes the touchdown-saving tackle.
Unbelievable ability to cut and see where people are on the field. I gave Brock a little bit of grief earlier tonight for a decision that he made to cut one way and not the other. Watch the cuts he makes on this play. He leaves people in his, well, literally in the dust.
In the rubber. He's burning rubber is what he's doing.
And tell me he hasn't picked up a little speed.
Brock Forsey, 7 receptions tonight, 115 yards, and a long right there of 53.
All the way, Broncos!
First and goal for the Boise State Broncos at the 8-yard line. David Michael waits. We got a flag down. Right in the middle of the pack. Nothing there for David Michael. Good defense by Idaho, and you got to think a holding penalty.
Yeah, when they throw that thing into the middle of the line of scrimmage, almost 99% of the time, that's what it is. And that's what it is. Young offensive line, at least at the tackle positions.
10-yard penalty.
See, you can read his lips. We didn't need the audio.
He's pretty loud anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of getting on my nerves. But the offensive tackles and tight ends both are very inexperienced. Now that guy's not inexperienced. Rob Bynum, the guard position, one of the biggest and strongest offensive linemen on this Boise State team.
He's a moose.
Oh, there's the stats right there, 6'5", 316. I mean, he probably takes up the whole town of Kaiser, Oregon by himself.
Exactly, yeah. Kaiser leans one way when he's home. Lou Fanucchi in motion. Called his name once today. Dinwiddie. Trying to come up with something. Finally throws it away.
And he had Wingfield freed up, but he didn't see him until it was too late.
Yeah, couldn't really quite get it there either. He's kind of rolling to the right. Tough situation, but Ryan bought some time. Didn't make a mistake. Threw it away. That's the key right there. You see the experience of Dinwiddie. He used the whole field and then finally just kind of chucked it as far as he could. As long as you're outside the tackles and as long as you throw it forward over the line of scrimmage, you don't have to have a receiver down there. You can throw it away. You can do whatever you want with it now.
Throw it to Canyon County.
Exactly. And that's what he remembered.
That would be a news story, actually, if he could do that.
Yeah.
Excellent job of getting rid of the ball.
So second down and goal, but all the way back to the 17, 18-yard line. And David Michael. Michael's back to the 10-yard line where this thing started.
It's so hard to bring that guy down. He is so strong. His lower body is just tremendous. I mean, he's got tremendous upper body strength too, but his legs are so powerful. He and Forsey both. I mean, he's a little bit stronger in that area than Brock, but not by much. But what tremendous lower body strength. You just can't knock him off his feet.
Ryan Dinwiddie having himself an awful nice night. 17 of 20, 237 yards and a touchdown. He'd like to make that 2 TDs on a 3rd and goal from the 10-yard line. He's got the good hands guys in there, Wingfield, Gilligan, and Lou Fanucchi. It's Gilligan in motion, and Brock Forsey back there to help block maybe. Dinwiddie pointing out traffic, throws it, incomplete, intended for Wingfield, and almost intercepted.
Robert Ortega, the cornerback, on the coverage. And Tyler Jones will come in and attempt a rather modestly short field goal.
Again, Tyler Jones, normally the kickoff man only, and Nick Kalayakai, the place kicker on field goals. You know, Jones can kick the long ones, as we saw with the 48-yarder, but Nick Kalayakai hurt himself, but he's making very good progress, may even make the trip to Arkansas, and then he may or may not play against the Razorbacks, but they think he could be back now by game 3. Tyler Jones.
That's good either.
Nope. Tyler just kind of yanked it to the left. And that's why you need a Nick Kaliakai, too. Tyler's usually pretty accurate, but this is new for him, too. So a nice drive thwarted by a couple of penalties. 31-14 Boise State with 10:28 to go in the ball game. We have talked about how beautiful the night it is here in Boise, Idaho. It is absolutely gorgeous. And of course, the Vandal Broncos fighting it out here, duking it out early. I tell you what, it's a little kickboxing here.
Got him in a headlock.
Yeah, you think the Broncos would kick better than that. Oh, down he goes. Down goes Buster. Oh, well. 31-14. Wayne Dzubak, Larry Pulowski with you. And the Vandals have the football. 19-yard line. Pass, I think, was touched at the line of scrimmage.
It's Fernando Yanez. Hey, let's take a look at our Jiffy Lube drive of the game. Remember, Jiffy Lube is the well-oiled machine. This drive, 11 plays, 87 yards, took 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Dinwiddie with that scramble we talked about earlier. Then Forsey with a nice run. Culminating with D. Michael getting it into the end zone. That is your Jiffy Lube drive of the game.
All right, second down and 10 from the 20. The pitch out to Zach Gershner. He kicks it outside and gets to the 26, 27-yard line. Nice little run by Zach Gershner.
Yeah, the offensive front really collapsed the outside. They outflanked the Bronco defense. They got that corner turned, and anytime you're running downhill like that, Gershner's going to get some yardage.
Yep, they in fact give him all the way out to the 28-yard line. So a gain of 8, third down and 2.
Number 36, Brian Yarno checks in for the Vandal offense. I played against his father and with his father, John Yarno.
Okay, the umpire from our game, we understand, he got hurt on the field goal attempt, so he's on the sidelines right now. They've got the alternate in there.
And there's a stop by the Bronco defense.
Good job.
It's going to be well short, and it'll bring up fourth down. So now it's decision time for Tom Cable.
Well, you still got 9:31 to go. Working on the old official. He's cut up.
It's like he took some of that turf upside the head.
You okay? Okay. He says, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I'm bleeding, but I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm bleeding. I'm earning my keep now. All right, the Vandals are going to go for it.
Well, they have no choice.
Yeah.
You're down 17 points with only 9 minutes left. I think you ought to go for it.
Fourth down, less than 1. Yep, there's a motion. There's motion on the right side of Idaho. That'll make him.
That's Scott.
Yep. They'll put him in a punt situation now.
Before the ball was snapped, false start. Offense.
Jake Scott, number 74, flinched. Well, you try to get the defense to do that, Wayne, and that time the offensive tackle did it to himself.
And the thing of it is, they're probably going to go right up the middle with Zach Gershner. So let's see if Idaho comes out of there. They still got lingering in there.
I don't see a punter.
Well, now they're going to go for a 4th and 6. So they're, right now he's rolling the dice. He's got Gelberg coming in, Winston's coming in. So he's got all of his receivers in there. They're going to go for it on 4th down. And now it's 4th down at about 6. Over the middle.
They got it, too.
Is it a completion?
Yes, it is.
First down. Wow, that was just simply a great catch down there by Josh Gelberg.
Broncos brought everybody basically on to see Chauncey Acco coming in. Look at that throw and catch. Chris Carr on the coverage, but that's perfect. There's no way you can stop that.
No, that was just absolutely perfect. It wasn't actually a pretty pass, but it was right on target, right where Chris Carr couldn't get it, and only Josh Gelberg could.
The only good news is that keeps the clock rolling. Tick down to 8:10 before they snap this ball.
Gershner climbing the outside. Oh, that's through. Good job, good patience. Gets out to the 41-yard line. That is about a yard shy of a first down, so a gain of 9.
To be quite candid, there's really some atrocious tackling out there tonight for Boise State. Not very well executed in that part of the game.
With the last time we saw the Broncos with that kind of tackling, it was down at Rice. They really couldn't tackle anybody. Next week they came back and really just pounded folks. So, they get out of this game with a victory, and they're up 31-14 right now. They have a chance to recover without too much harm. Oh, look at this. Wide open. And a good recovery there. I believe that was Wes Nurse who recovered, but a nice play by Idaho. Little halfback option.
Threw a lateral pass. Yep, they threw the lateral pass out to the flank. They send it out to Stowe, who's way behind Nurse. If this ball's thrown farther, it's a touchdown. You see Jelmberg, he comes up the field a little bit and then steps back to throw the ball. The key to that is the initial pass to him was behind the line of scrimmage and behind him, so it created a lateral, and then you can throw it again.
36-yard gain and a little trickery right there. So Tom Cable really going to the gamble. 4th down and 6, they make it. Now a little razzle-dazzle. Flanker pass. Lindgren throwing. Almost intercepted.
Michael dropped the interception.
Yep, it was right in his hands. Hit him right in the 9.
Wonder if he knows there's an Indianapolis Colts scout.
That was Brown.
Oh, was it Brown?
Yeah.
Well, they might be looking at him too.
That would have been his second.
You see the theory, though, by Tom Cable in this offense, going right for the jugular on 1st down.
So 2nd down, ball at the 23-yard line. 31-14 Broncos. That's Jelmberg again. And he gets caught, at least slowed down by Avalos, and finally put a stop to by Chanciaco.
Pretty good reaction to the ball to keep Gershon just a small gain. May have picked up 2. At that time, the Bronco defense able to string that play down the line of scrimmage and keep it to only a 2-yard gain. And the Vandals want a timeout now.
Well, they need to. They got a 3rd down, 8 yards to go. They need to score on this drive. The clock is run down to 6:34. And we will take a break as well. 6 minutes, 34 seconds to go in a ball game. Boise State up 31-14. The Vandals with a 3rd down and 8. All right, we're back. 6:34 to go. 31-14. Boise State leads at a 3rd down and 8 for the Idaho Vandals. They were at the 21-yard line of Boise State. Lindgren checking off at the line of scrimmage. Plenty of time on the play clock. Nice coverage, and now they got a flag, and it's going to be thrown on Gabe Franklin. So it's going to be pass interference against Boise State.
Can't really see where it must have occurred before the break on the ball there.
Yeah.
And they were asking for, Winston was asking for that penalty before the flag came out, so there must have been some contact.
I sure didn't see it. They've got the big video board here, and the crowd's starting to boo because they showed a replay that it didn't show it either.
Well, that's 2 times deep in Bronco territory that pass interference has cost them.
9 penalties tonight against Boise State for 95 yards. 9 penalties. That's something that Coach Hawkins will not be happy with when he reviews everything tomorrow. And that's going to put it 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. 31-14 is our score. Here you see it. Idaho with only 5. Last year it was Idaho with some huge penalties. Now tonight, Boise State with some. Josh Jelmberg thought he had it, should have caught it. Incomplete.
It was overthrown just a little bit by Lindgren, but he wanted to make sure that the only guy that was going to catch that would be number 12. They gave him just a little bit too much gas. Jelmberg makes an attempt, and Lindgren pays for it.
Yeah, it's right there in the hands.
You're right. That should have been caught, Wayne. Absolutely. Perfect throw.
So it's 2nd down and goal now.
There's a little shift by the Vandals now.
3 coming over to the right side. Now we go in motion. So a lot of different things happening for the Vandals. Pass complete to Jelmberg. Touchdown. Another missed tackle at the 3-yard line. That was Wes Nurse who missed the tackle, and Josh Jelmberg has made this a 31-20 ball game.
Well, a couple of missed scoring opportunities for the Broncos coming back to haunt them a little bit here. Knocks it down to 10 points. Assuming the PAT is good.
Now the Broncos have missed 2 field goals here tonight and had some big penalties called against them to help Idaho out a little bit in their drives. That was a big one right there. And the kick is good. So it's a 10-point ball game again with 6:19 to go, so plenty of time. 31-21 is the score. Boise State with the lead here. Jelberg now 10 receptions for 75 yards and a touchdown.
Listening to Coach Hawkins this week during practice, very concerned about the mental state of his team and the kind of lackadaisical approach they were taking to their preparation. And I think with the penalties and all that, you can see what we've got here. Let's take a look at our Subway sub of the game. We're going to go with Deshaun Kabong, who made that nice block on the field goal attempt. He hadn't been in on a lot of plays, but he got the job done right there. Deshaun Kabong is your Subway sub of the game. Subway, eat fresh.
Good looking helmets. They get the new logo on there. The unveiled this year, and of course it's right in the center of the field as well this year. Mean looking thing, but that's what you want.
And that logo has just been added to the helmets because they didn't have them on for practice this week.
All right, so Idaho's going to kick off, and the Broncos expecting the onside kick. With 6:19 to go.
Be a wise thing to assume they're going to try to do here. Down 10 points.
So Brian Pope will be kicking it off. And the Broncos looking. And here it is. It's up for grabs. It's anybody's ball. Look at this. I think Idaho may have it. The Vandals do. So Idaho has it with 6:12 to go, down by 10. The onside kick working perfect.
That's Jimmy Labita that comes out of the pile with the ball. One backup wide receiver.
We have a player down, by the way. Idaho Vandal was hurt on that play.
2 Broncos jump up, and Trent Lundeen and Wes Nurse knock each other off the ball. The Vandals come up with it.
This is a perfect kick. Trying to see who the Vandal player is. They got a lot of people around him, so I really can't see who it is. 29, that'd be Bryant. Rod Bryant.
It's pretty crazy down there in those piles.
So they're checking out Rod Bryant right there. Junior out of Maryland. Friendly Maryland.
Just must have got the wind knocked out of him because he popped right back up.
Let's see what happened to him here. Here he is right in the middle of your screen here, 29.
He just goes in and takes out Lundeen.
All right, pressure now on the Bronco defense. The Vandals have the momentum. They were down 31-14 a minute ago. Now they've got a touchdown and the ball back. Lindgren throwing complete to Winston. Gain of about 7. Into Bronco territory at the 47-yard line.
Quinn Michael gets a good hit there, makes the tackle, but not before an 8-yard gain.
Second down.
I think you're going to see number 12 and number 83, an integral part of this drive. And then Birchner up the middle.
Again, Lindgren calling signals, audibling at the line of scrimmage, starting to feel a lot more comfortable. Quick 2-step drop, overthrows his intended receiver, Winston. So it'll be a 3rd down and 2. Brian Lindgren, good numbers on him tonight. He's always come up with a big play in this game.
Dan Hawkins this week talking about Lindgren said he was a guy they looked at when he was coming out of high school.
24-36. Idaho now 12 of 16. Yeah, they cooled off, but they still look pretty good at 12 out of 16. Isn't that something? Here's another one. 4 down and 2. Lindgren.
Not going to get this one.
He's going to go down.
Tony Altieri up the middle. Senior defensive tackle comes in and makes a huge play.
Big sack. Idaho will call timeout.
Timeout.
They're going to discuss it.
University
It would be
of
4th
Idaho.
down and 8.
Their second charge, timeout.
Short drop, nobody there. Altieri just blows up the middle. And that's a senior play right there by Tony Altieri. Stepping up when he had to. Look at that drive up the field. Tell me that's not a hold.
Yeah, really.
Tony would not be denied. And hey, if you're going to sacrifice in 6 minutes and kick the onside kick, of course you're going to go for 4th.
Sure.
There's no decision to make it.
Well, you got to come up now what you're going to do. If you're Idaho, you're sitting in there, you're figuring out what you've got left in the playbook, what will work in this situation. 5:16 to go in the ball game. Boise State would like to get it back in the hands of their offense. And if they can stop them here, they would have great field position. So this is a key play. Every play's big in a ball game, but as we've gone, this may be the biggest one right here. 4th down and 8. Lindgren throwing deep. Knocked away. Nice play by Quentin Michael.
2 senior plays in a row by 2 stalwarts on this defense. Altieri in the middle, and Q Michael running down the field. He didn't get turned around this time. He knew exactly where the ball was, and he knew where the receiver was, and he has this all. See his head back right there? He knew it was coming his way, and then he looks up for the ball. That's what he did not do the last time.
And the fact that he did look up for the ball, there was some contact, but because he's going for the ball, he has every much as right to go for it as Hunter did, the receiver. And it was just a good play. Hunter went for it. Quentin Michael went for it. Nobody came up with it. The Vandals went for it on 4th down, and now Boise State with great field position.
Well, it's up to this offense now to burn this 5 minutes off the clock or get a score either way.
Jay Swilly, we have not called his name tonight. There's been nothing there about Jay Swilly. Ryan Dinwiddie has it. Dinwiddie throwing for Swilly. He had it and dropped it. Let's go down to Jeff Caves. Jeff?
You know, Boise State had a slogan this year, Wayne. We've all heard about it. Leave no doubt. It was started by Dan Hawkins. They don't want to be snubbed from any bowl games. So bodybuilding.com and the Bronco Football Alumni Club got together and they put these t-shirts out there, and for just a $10 donation that goes all to Bronco football, they were selling these t-shirts out at Broadway and University. In 60 minutes they sold 200 t-shirts. It didn't take but an hour. There'll be more on the 28th, so if you want them, come on down. Wayne?
Thanks, Jeff. Now you got one for me, right? Did you bring me?
Right.
Yeah, right. David Michael weaving his way for a few.
Nice little 2nd down run there. Good job and patience by David Michael to wait for his blocking to set up. Stutter stepped in the backfield, let those offensive linemen get their feet under him and get some drive going. Picked up a good almost 6 yards.
Well, again, another big play for Boise State here. We're getting down to that time of the game with 4:35 and a 10-point game. Anything could happen. And the Broncos are facing a 3rd down and 5.
This is a big conversion right here because this takes another at least 2.5 minutes off the clock and they convert it.
Michael, by the way, 91 yards rushing tonight on 9 carries. It's not a bad average.
Blitz.
Dinwiddie, they pick it up underneath the coverage. They go. That's Billy Wingfield. He kind of broke one tackle and gets all the way down to the 20-yard line. Huge play for Boise State.
Billy Wingfield, senior wide receiver. Sparingly used in the past, but he's going to be an integral part of this receiving core, and that may be one reason why we haven't called Jay Swilly's number tonight, because Wingfield's the guy that Dinwiddie feels comfortable throwing to.
Yeah, and he's gotten the job done. Like you said, you mentioned the spring drills, and then in the fall drills, Wingfield has just looked absolutely fantastic. Hand off to Forsey. He's trying to burn some clock up the middle.
Yeah, the pile goes forward though. When Forsey's got the ball, it seems like the pile always goes forward. Now sure, you got to put that big Matt Stroh's in your block for you. That doesn't hurt either. Vian and Huff, all those guys up front, but still, the piles go forward with this kid.
Well, Boise State's been down here before several times tonight and come up empty. And that's really the difference in the game. Boise State probably with a chance to put 45 points on the board tonight, and they have not done it. Pitch to David Michael. He cuts back against the grain. Now look out. David Michael, not to be denied. Touchdown.
And Dinwiddie got another block down there. He took the legs out of one of the defensive backs that was chasing David Michael. But that was Michael, baby. He put that thing into the end zone with his own tenacity.
David Michael, 10 carries, 108 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Want to know who the player of the game is?
I'd say David Michael. How's that for you?
I think you're looking at him right there, folks.
I am so sharp. Sharp as a tack.
You are.
I pick right up on it, don't I, Wayne? Now, he's had a tremendous game, and what a nose for the end zone for David Michael tonight.
So Tyler Jones comes on for the point after. And it is good. So the Broncos are up 38-21 now, only 3:06 to go in the ball game.
Watch the cutback move here by David Michael. Gets up to the line of scrimmage. There's not much there. Again, patient, waits, cuts back, and then watch flying through the screen there. He gets one block. The rest of it's D. Mike.
He just lowers his head and says, I'm going in.
And he gives the evil stare down to the fans in the end zone. Guy's got some guns on him, too. Look at those arms.
You bet. 5 plays, 48 yards. Took 2:03. And, of course, when Idaho went for it on 4th down, didn't make it. Boise State had great field position, only had to go the 48 yards. So Tyler Jones will come out again and kick it off. Boise State getting ready to take off on Friday. They'll fly charter into Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the Razorbacks of Arkansas. Always good to go in there with a game under your belt, and more importantly, a victory under your belt. And of course, it'll be the opener for Arkansas.
That's a line drive.
They're trying to keep it from returning. Picked up there by Thompson. Thompson's still going. And he's finally brought down outside, right around the 26-yard line.
You got a guy that can kick the ball 10 yards deep in the end zone. Why wouldn't you just continue to do that?
Who knows?
Tired?
Maybe he tried. Maybe he tried it. I know when I tried it, you should be able to hit your 7-iron about, 150, 170 yards? Hey, sometimes I hit it 20. So
Wayne, it's time for a new feature for us this year, the Idaho Lottery Lucky Play of the Game. And we don't mean lucky that they lucked out, but you've got to be lucky to make a play like this. This is the diamond in one or the triangle in one. What are we going to name this play?
I don't know, but it turned out to be the diamond in 6 because he scored.
It's a diamond in the rough, that's for sure, because this thing ends up in the end zone, and it is your Idaho Lottery Lucky Play of the Game.
Worked for them. 38-21. Boise State leads it. Winston. And again, just wide open, just fighting a seam, and boom.
There's a quick slant. That's worked a couple of different times for good yardage for the Vandals tonight. Surprised they hadn't gone to it more. And they're going to line right up. See the clock ticking down on our new Idaho Lottery clock box.
Intercepted.
Gabe Franklin. Oh, his own man knocked him down.
Yeah, his own man knocked him down. Can you believe that?
Is that Ben Chase that knocked him down? Brad Chase knocked him down.
Got him, yeah. But Gabe Franklin with the interception.
Brad Chase with the tackle. Franklin, 3 picks last year, led this Bronco defense. And that one was just not very well thrown by Lindgren. He didn't read something, or there was the route was disrupted right off the bat, so that was part of it. And then look at Chase. What is he doing?
He was chasing him.
Yeah.
And he caught him.
Dude, don't tackle your own guy, okay? Rule 1, paragraph A of the football rule book. Do not tackle your own.
The thing of it is, you got to leave him alone, because you know what happens when they look at films tomorrow? Here comes B.J. Rodian.
Does he have to play tonight after the golf game that he put on me the other day?
Donnie Heck skipping and hopping, gets it inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Broncos running out some clock, but they like to score here. I mean, there's enough clock to run out that.
Johnny Heck, another local product out of Eagle High School here in the Boise area. Again, Meridian School District. Putting some pretty good players out. Remember Jeb Petzier?
Yep.
Same place.
Yep.
Dinwiddie's on the bench for the rest of the night. And this guy put a lesson, just gave me a lesson out at Falcon Crest Golf Course the other day. Unbelievable.
Yeah. He told everybody that would listen, and even some who wouldn't.
Took me to school.
Johnny Heck working his way. There's a flag down. Now it's good to see B.J. Rohde get in here. He's a guy who's hung around for 5 years and has played a backup role, and you know, he's just hung with the program, and he's been there in case he's been needed, and he was needed last year against Central Michigan.
Knows this offense like the back of his hand. Helps.
Repeat, second down.
Helps the younger players understand what's going on. Signals in the signals to Ryan Dinwiddie, and really has looked pretty good in the fall camp. You know, if something were to happen to Ryan, he wasn't able to play a series or two, I think the Broncos would feel very comfortable in B.J. Rohde coming into the game.
So it's going to be second down and about, 20? Dinwiddie, B.J. Rohde, the screen underneath. And I'm not sure who caught it. There's so many new players in there right now. That could have been Donnie Heck. Nope, it was Lou Fanucchi. Here comes the Governor's Cup for you right there. Looks like tonight with under a minute now to go in the game. A minute 18 rather.
Where's the Governor? It's the Governor's Cup. Why doesn't the Governor?
He'll be there.
Okay.
The Governor doesn't carry it
cups.
over. No.
Okay, I got you.
They deliver it to him on a table, and then he just says something.
It's like a protocol kind of thing. Right? You don't know. The Governor wouldn't dare carry it.
The Governor's not going to lug the whole cup over there.
Okay. Thanks for stating that.
Third down. BJ in the pocket, throws, complete. It'll be fourth down. A nice little catch right there.
Jerry Smith
getting some action. And Broncos going to try a field goal, and I think part of the reason they're going to try it, is because they need to try it. It's not been a great situation, and Idaho takes a timeout there with 44 seconds to go. But Tyler Jones just needs some confidence boosters. He doesn't want to leave on the last one. It's like, that's what's insidious. You talk about golf. Oh, there you go.
Here's our player of the game tonight, our Bronco player of the game, David Michael. What a night this young man has had.
That's a nice smile, huh?
10 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. Just some tremendous effort by David Michael.
And I give him credit that, sometimes those headshots like that can look like mug shots, but that's a good shot.
Yeah, I was in charge of the headshots this year. Okay?
That's a great
I got
shot.
all the guys
nice
to smile.
There he is.
Enough of those evil stare down looks.
Exactly.
We got some smiling.
David actually looked friendly in that picture.
He did.
All right, Tyler Jones going to try a 30-yard field goal here. He missed a couple tonight. And this one is up, and this one is good.
And a flag.
And a flag again.
Running into the kicker, I'm sure, which that's one thing you have to worry about because we're not really laden with kickers on the Boise State end of things.
Yeah, the thing of it is, probably running into the kicker, you don't take points off the board. It's 41-21 with 39 seconds to go. You just go ahead and kick off.
Now they'll assess that on the kickoff.
Yep.
I'm sure the Vandals thinking, Boise State maybe trying to run up the score a little bit on them. But you're right, Wayne. They needed the practice under pressure of kicking a field goal.
Well, and Tyler Jones had to lead this game feeling good about a field goal. I mean, what I was trying to say before is that that's what's insidious about the game of golf. They're going to decline it here, I think. What are they doing? Officials are playing their own game. They're taking the points off the board. It's going to be 38-21. And it's an automatic first down.
And now I hope they just run out the clock since they got their kicking practice in.
Yeah, so
just kneel down on the ball and let's move on. I don't think the Broncos knew what was going on either.
So it's roughing the kicker, automatic first down. That's going to bring it to the 7-yard line. So take the points off. I mean, can't you decline that penalty?
I guess not.
I mean, I don't know that I would take points off the board, even though it's 38-21. And Boise State trying to take a knee, but everybody's jumping to see if they throw a flag or just decide to call this a night.
They didn't call the offsides, did they?
No, they didn't call the offsides, so that's going to be it.
What happened there was the guy jumped offsides for the Vandal defensive front. Mike McLeod snapped the ball to Rhodey. Rhodey took a knee. That's a pre-designed play, but they didn't call the penalty.
Yeah.
So it's, in essence, running out the clock.
Boise State didn't have to take another step because 25-second clock didn't start till shortly, but Donnie Heck, he says, that's okay, I'll try one more time.
That'll finish it.
That's going to do it right there. So, nice night for Boise State. Ends kind of goofy, but the Boise State Broncos come up with a victory here tonight, 38-21 over the Idaho Vandals. Boise State, I think, got some things to work on, but now they know what they've got to work on.
Not a pretty win, but any win is a pretty win, especially with all the concerns Dan Hawkins had during the week.
Right, and they've now beaten Idaho 4 in a row, and 5 of the last 6 games.
This Idaho team is much improved, though.
They are.
And with the stretch of games they've got coming up, it's going to be a long road to hoe in September for those guys.
Series now stands at 17-14-1 in favor of the Idaho Vandals, and Jeff Caves is down there, and as you can see, he's got Dan Hawkins with him, and so as soon as we are ready, we will go down. Jeff, go ahead.
Mark, let's get right to it. You satisfied with what you saw tonight?
Well, obviously a win's a win, and I give a lot of credit to Idaho. Those guys did a great job. There weren't too many punt teams on the field, but you know, we did what we had to do to win, and from that standpoint, it was good. Obviously, could have been cleaner on our hand point. We missed a couple of field goals and missed some shots down close to the goal line, but you know, a win's a win, and we'll build from here.
You said you didn't like the attitude of the team, the fans, the media, and everybody else in the earth. Do you think that you saw some things that indicate you were right?
Well, I thought our guys came out and played pretty hard, and but you know, obviously you see it's not a walk. This is a good football team, and every Saturday in college football, you better show up and you better give it your best effort, and more importantly, it better happen during the week. So I thought our guys came out much more focused on Thursday, had a very good practice, and basically tonight probably did a pretty good job.
What about the efforts of Michael and Forsey and Dinwiddie? Your 3 horses really carried the weight today, and they did everything you almost asked.
Super job. David Michael was up to his big plays ability, and you know, Brock, he's just a blue-collar guy that's going to get it done, and RD did a nice job. I don't know where he's going to come out stats-wise, but you know, for us not to turn the ball over and interceptions and fumbles, those are key things. Had a few more penalties than I would have liked, but I thought our guys were pretty clean that way.
What about the emotions of the game? It didn't seem like it had all that rivalry atmosphere. Did you sense that there was?
Well, you know, when you have a first game, you've got issues. You're just trying to communicate and get your plays in and out and get your groups in and out, so it kind of takes away from some of that other stuff. But certainly I thought there was some motion out there, yeah.
Were you happy with the result coming out 38-21? You've kind of kept the streak alive in terms of double-digit wins.
Hey, you know, a win's a win, and I give a lot of credit to Idaho. They played their fanny off, did a nice job, gave us a big battle, and you know, but our guys did what they had to do to win, and that's the bottom line in this game.
All right, Hawk, the governor's got something for you. Congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Wayno, we'll come back. We'll try to grab David Michael, our player of the game, in just a minute.
All right, good enough. Again, the governor was going to hand out that Governor's Cup, and that does it here. 38-21, Boise State wins it. We still have more to go here on the postgame show. We'll be back, hopefully talk with David Michael, with Jeff Caves, but that does it. 38-21, our final. We'll be back after this on the Bronco Television Network. Wayne Zuback, Larry Pulowski with you back here at Bronco Stadium. There you see the final score. Broncos win it 38-21, and that is, of course, Governor Dirk Kempthorne, who has just given out the Governor's Trophy. There it is right there. The Boise State Broncos keep it, and Jeff Caves is down with our player of the game, David Michael.
Yes, he is, Wayne. David, a tremendous evening for you, man. They did everything that they asked. How did it feel?
Feels pretty good. You know, I got a little worried when they started coming down scoring, but our defense held the second half, held them scoreless. So, you know, offense is doing pretty good, but the red zone we have to put it in. We didn't put the game away early like we should have, but we still won.
How about game plan wise? A lot of discussion about the Idaho defense and what they would do, a 4-3, and they bring those linebackers up and they push them back. But there wasn't much pressure. Didn't seem like many blitzes being done.
No, they didn't blitz at all, and that was surprising because, you know, we practiced all week with them blitzing and cross blitzes and stuff, but they blitzed about 4 times, but they just sat back and let us do what we wanted, basically.
What about the emotions of this rivalry at Boise State, Idaho, a team, I may add, you've not lost to, my man. You may be able to close this thing out with another win next year up north, but was there a lot of talking going on?
Beginning again, there was a lot of talking, but once we start rolling, but the offense and defense got together. They shut up. So.
Well, you put up 38. How many do you think you guys should have had?
We should have had at least 3 or 4 more touchdowns. But I'm not really talking trash, but, you know, we got to the red zone, didn't put it in. We had to kick field goals, you know, but we don't really want to settle for field goals, but we'll take them.
All right, what about the tackles tonight? A lot of spotlight attention on those two kids. Talk to me about how they played.
Hey, they handled themselves real good, you know. They came out, they were confident, and they were ready to play.
All right, well, best of luck to you against Arkansas. All right, David Michael Wayne, what an evening he had. One for the ages.
Yeah, no question. Just a nice night for David Michael indeed. Running tonight. We got some final stats for you coming up here. There you see right there. Rushing yards for Boise State, 233. Total yardage, 503 yards for the Boise State Bronco. Not bad for Idaho, 365, but a good night for everybody indeed.
And those third down conversions just tremendous for Idaho.
Yeah, Ryan Dinwiddie tonight passing 18 to 23 for 259 yards and a touchdown. Talked about David Michael's night rushing. He had 108 yards rushing. His long was 27, averaged 10.8 yards per carry, and Brock Forsey had 91 yards, so almost 2 100-yard rushers tonight.
Yeah, just a tremendous effort there. That really the bright spot of the game. A lot of things to work on, a lot of things to get corrected. Penalties being one of them. And I think Hawk's got to be happy with the win. He said it. Hey, a W's a W.
All right, one more time out here on the postgame show. 38-21. Boise State wins it. We'll be back with some final comments. Talk about Arkansas coming up next Saturday night from Fayetteville. Live at Bronco Stadium. The Broncos start the year 1-0, a 38-21 win over the Idaho Vandals tonight. Something new on the field. The Broncos just kind of milling around after games this year. Broncos trying to be more fan-friendly, and they're out signing autographs. There you see that Quentin Michael right there signing some autographs, and even Jeff Cave's coming over there giving a congratulations. So just kind of trying to meet with the fans, and there you see a big crowd out there.
Excellent marketing deal here by the Broncos staff, just to get people involved in the program, get them to meet the kids. You know, Tim Gilligan's down there signing autographs, showing his scars and where he got hit last year on those 2 punts. You know, it's very fan-friendly. Excellent idea of Hawks and the marketing department here at Boise State. Kurt Apsey, Brad Lorando, very nice job.
All right, next week we're going to be at Arkansas. Boise State against the Arkansas Razorbacks. We'll revisit Houston Nutt. Remember 2 years ago?
Suey.
Yeah, no question, man. We saw a lot of that down there in Little Rock, but this time we're in Fayetteville. Broncos will charter down on Friday, and the game time 5 o'clock Saturday night. Poe and I will be there live from Fayetteville, and it should be an interesting game.
We'll even bring Caves along, won't we?
The Caves will come with us too. Yeah, okay. We can bring Caves if he's down there. Just glad hadn't down there. So there you have it. A big game tonight. I'll tell you what, the Broncos getting off to a good start here, and Brock Forsey having a great run right there. 38-21 for Larry Pulowski, Jeff Caves. I'm Wayne DeZubak. For everybody in the truck, thanks for joining us tonight on the Bronco Television Network. Broncos win it 38-21.